The San Diego State Aztecs bring college football's longest conference winning streak to War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming to take on the Cowboys. 17 straight wins against Mountain West Conference opponents for San Diego State. Even with Boise State's win last night, it's Wyoming who still controls its own destiny in the Mountain Division. San Diego State has already clinched the Western Division for the second straight year. With Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell on the sideline, I'm Carter Blackburn. You have clear skies, cool weather, November, conference championship implications, and some old school football.
It is old school football. I think 50% of the nation's tight ends and fullbacks could be playing in today's game. It's going to be run game. It's going to be defense. That's a recipe that Rocky Long used a year ago to win this conference, and it's what Craig Bohl told us he wants to eventually build his team to get there as well.
And you have two semifinalists for college football's top running back award, the Doak Walker Award. First of those is Donnel Pumphrey.
Man, I love watching Donnel Pumphrey run. The kid's only about 175 pounds, but he's so explosive. He's got great vision, great patience, but he runs with a chip on his shoulder, so he's physical between the tackles. But there's other people that are helping him. This offensive line that's played together all season long has done a really nice job up front, which has allowed Rashaad Penny to be a nice counterpunch to Pumphrey. And then DeMonte Casey on the other side leads his team in interceptions. That defense leads the entire country with 19 interceptions on the year.
Now, when you talk about Wyoming, it begins with the second semifinalist for the Doak Walker Award. That's Brian Hill.
Brian Hill is a fun running back to watch. Folks, we're going to have two of the top 5 productive running backs in the country in today's game. Hill's a little bit more of a physical runner. He will get some runs outside the tackles because he's got the speed, but he thrives inside, breaking arm tackles, which means the Aztecs have to play downhill, wrap him up, and run to the football.
And our enterprise pick to watch is a guy who has really opened it up sophomore year. Bounced back from a major injury his freshman season, Josh Allen. Last 3 games, 11 touchdown passes. And for more on the Cowboys, let's check in with Jenny Dell.
Well, Carter, it is senior day here in Wyoming, and if there is one word to describe this Cowboy senior class, it's got to be perseverance. They've had 2 head coaches, a combined 11-25 record in their first 3 seasons, but this year it's really coming all together, and they're bowl eligible for the first time since 2011. Senior Lucas Walker told me the biggest difference this year is that every single player bought in. He said, we may not be the biggest or the most talented team on paper, but our work ethic and focus got us to where we are today. And guys, you add in that every player is connected like family, and they've been able to achieve some great things.
Yeah, indeed, Jenny, under Craig Bohl, I mean, it was the first 2 years, just 6 wins for Wyoming, and the guy who led North Dakota State to 3 straight FCS championships, 7 wins this season. So building to this point. Rocky Long, very similar attitude at San Diego State. It is physical football, it is running the football and playing defense. For the Mountain West Conference all-time winningest coach, Rocky Long, they won the championship game last year. So 50 degrees, mostly sunny. I mean, this is for snow on the ground, and there was a pretty good-sized snowstorm moved through the area a couple days ago. This is just perfect for kickoff.
It is beautiful. It's crisp. It's clear. It's what reminds me of what old school football is going to be. This is the perfect environment for what's at stake today for these 2 teams.
San Diego State won the toss and will receive the opening kickoff for what could be a preview of the Mountain West Conference championship game between the Wyoming Cowboys, picked to finish last in their division, and the San Diego State Aztecs. Cooper Roth kicks it off to the dangerous Rashaad Penny. 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns in his career. Then he has it across the 30, across the 40. Rashaad Penny takes the opening kickoff all the way back. Touchdown, San Diego State. 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. For the 5th time in his career, Rashaad Penny kickoff return for touchdown.
Well, this is the way that you want to start out when you're on the road. This Aztec team's already clinched the West, but opening the game with a big return, we saw him do it earlier in the year against Cal. What a way to open this game. And if you're Wyoming, you got to have a short-term memory and forget about this one. Look at the scoreboard as if it's 7-0, but the Cowboys going to be getting the ball back. But what an incredible way to start this football game if you're an Aztec fan.
One of those impact guys for San Diego State, Rashaad Penny. 18 touchdowns in the last 15 games. That is his 14th touchdown of the year. Second time he's run a kickoff back.
Well, he's just got that great open field speed. Had 200-plus yards rushing the football. This is just a right return. What it looks like is the Wyoming players got stacked up on top of themselves vertically, got out of their rush lanes. And Penny was just able to find, with some patience, some good blocking and some seams, and then his speed kicks in.
For San Diego State, they thrive on playing with a lead and then shortening the game by running the football in time of possession. So before Wyoming even gets the football, you're an opening. There you go. 17 consecutive wins when scoring first. And it's 7-0 on the return from Rashaad Penny.
There's something called the score easy early syndrome that I've seen as well, which is teams come out, they get a quick score, and they took their foot off the gas pedal, and they can pay for it. It's going to be important for Wyoming to respond here with a good quality drive against a very good defense, one of the best in the country. Not going to be easy, but that will help their psyche coming off that tough triple overtime loss a week ago against UNLV.
Nico Evans slips across the 25-yard line. So as Wyoming comes out for offense, we take a look at today's 3 questions. And question number 1, can Wyoming make something happen early? Well, they're going to have to counter the Aztecs' opening punch.
They certainly are going to have to, and they've got the personnel to do that. But can the Aztecs avoid another letdown on the road? We all remember that South Alabama loss where penalties and turnovers and poor production on third down was a factor. And the Cowboys, they've got to win the turnover battle, Carter. When they've done that, they've been successful this year. Plus 10 in their wins, minus 7 in their 3 losses.
So it's Brian Hill in the backfield with Josh Allen. No surprise, Hill gets the first touch, takes it across the 30-yard line to the 32, so a chance for us to check our Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the Wyoming Cowboys, and it begins with Josh Allen, the redshirt sophomore from Firebaugh, California. That's near Fresno. Suffered in the second game last year a brutal hit, required reconstructive surgery on the left arm, so he had to bounce back big time his sophomore year. INTs have been an issue, but he is a deep ball threat offensively. And Allen, the throw for the first time, and he is dropped for a sack. And it's Jay Henderson who leads the way and gets a sack on Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's just going to be Henderson off that right tackle side. Up Jolly, just beats him around the corner. As an offensive tackle, your job is to stay between the pass rusher and the ball carrier. You can't afford to give up those short corners. That last play just completely negated a very good first down run. Something the coaches told us that they had to do today to be successful was have success on early downs.
And now Wyoming into 3rd and 10. Against more Aztec heavy pressure. Allen on the run. Allen's going to throw back across his body. Deep downfield, caught by Hollister. Allen on the rollout to Hollister for 33.
This is what makes Josh Allen so scary. He's got a rifle of an arm, a big arm. Really nice job of pushing the ball downfield, particularly when running to his right. But he has to have a lot of confidence in his receivers. That's not a good decision by him to throw across his body late over the middle, but he got away with it there. He's got to be careful, but if his receivers keep going up and getting it like that, that's going to be something to keep our eyes on.
Out of the eye from the 40, Hill on the left side. Nice block on the edge, and Hill's going to get at least 5 on first down. KZ forces him out, so let's take a look at the starting offense for Wyoming.
Well, we talked about them wanting to establish a run, but I think Wyoming's going to have to hit some big passes downfield like we just saw, so keep your eye on the senior wide receiver, Tanner Gentry. Number 4, he leads a big physical wide receiver group that I think collectively gives Wyoming its best shot today at moving the ball downfield, and we've seen that already.
Allen averages 15 yards per completion. That's 3rd in the nation. 2nd and 4, play action. Allen, time to throw. Another deep shot, complete inside the 15-yard line. That's Gentry, and he's wrestled down near the 11. So right after you point out the big physical Gentry, Allen finds him for 23.
And what a great route Gentry ran. Up here at the top, he goes out, then in, just completely turns around the true freshman quarterback, Ron Smith. I'm not surprised that they're starting to attack that young rookie because they want to throw away from DeMonte Casey. Gentry, who had a huge game a week ago, showing up here early. This is the exact sort of response that Wyoming was hoping for.
After the kickoff return for a touchdown from San Diego State, Wyoming opening drive. Give it inside. And that's Austin Conway, a redshirt freshman. Maybe gets a couple of chances to check out the defense for San Diego State.
Well, we talked about DeMonte Casey and proving that if you throw it, he'll make you pay. So I'm expecting what Wyoming just did to attack Ron Smith, the true freshman. He's got good size and has held his own so far this year, which is promising. But he'll be tested today. And that first test that we just saw a minute ago, he didn't pass. That's going to give Wyoming some confidence. 17 better get that out of his head and show back up, because he's going to get some balls thrown towards his way this day.
Play action. Allen on the roll. Allen pressured from behind. He's going to wrap it up, protect the football, and take a sack all the way back at the 16-yard line. Noble Hall has the sack, but you saw Allen just cradle that football and cover it up.
It's what you have to do, and it's one of the things that the Aztecs do a remarkable job of. That's their 27th sack on the season, the second so far today. As a quarterback, you have to have that clock in your head. If nobody's open, you have to throw that football away. This is one of the things that Allen does sometimes. He tries to do too much, and he paid for it there.
So 3rd and 15, opening drive for Wyoming. Allen with 4 wide, pumps, throws in zone, incomplete. He's looking for the big tight end, Hollister. And correct, it's Mulhart he's looking for, but into double coverage. So 4th down, and here's the field goal unit coming on for Wyoming. Cooper Roth will come on to attempt the field goal.
Nice job of San Diego State responding there. A week ago, Wyoming was 5 for 5 in the red zone with 5 touchdowns after a couple huge big plays, something the Aztecs have done a really good job of so far this year. They bent, but they didn't break and forced the field goal.
Roth has made 7 of his last 8. This is a 32-yard attempt for the freshman kicker, and the 32-yarder is easily good. So an opening kickoff touchdown for San Diego State. Wyoming responds with a field goal. A huge November matchup in the Mountain West, and it's 7-3 to start. Aztecs over the Cowboys. Prior to the Cal game, Rashaad Penny had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns in his Aztec career. Then the Cal Golden Bears decided to kick it right to him, and this is Rashaad Penny. Officially 100 yards on this kickoff return for a touchdown, the 4th of his Aztec career. Today, opening kickoff, scooped up for a 93-yard kick return for a touchdown. So it's the 5th of his career, 2nd of the year, the 14th touchdown of the year for Rashaad Penny. He has one in the return game, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. Only player in the country with all 3. And sure enough, Penny, now he looked like he lost that one a little bit in the sun. It goes out the back for a touchback, 25-yard line. So we see Donnel Pumphrey for the first time with the Aztec offense on the field. Pumphrey with 6,051 rushing yards. He is now 4th all-time. He only needs to average 89 per game to have the all-time FBS rushing record.
They say you are the company that you keep, and Donnel Pumphrey is among college football's best. I think he can easily do it, and I think by the time this season's over, Carter, the guy that we're about to see get this first touch of the football game, that guy right there, number 19, Donnel Pumphrey, will go down in the history books as the most productive college football running back in the history of this sport.
The only 3 guys ahead of him are the 3 that have held that record: Dorsett, Ricky Williams, and Ron Dane. So it's Pumphrey in the backfield out of the eye. The first offensive snap for San Diego State. And, of course, it goes to Donnel Pumphrey. On the right side, Wyoming loading up for the run, so a gain of only 2. Hull there on the stop. Our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. begin with the San Diego State quarterback, Christian Chapman, the sophomore from Carlsbad, California. 5 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. So they're starting to open it up a little bit more in the passing game.
Yeah, he's got to protect the football today. The Aztecs have only turned it over 9 times this year. 8 of those were Christian Chapman's fumbles or interceptions. So ball security on the road is of paramount importance today.
Give it to Rashaad Penny again. They fake the sweep. Penny will take it to near the 30-yard line. Lucas Waka, the middle linebacker, on the stop to bring up 3rd and 5. The rest of the starters for San Diego State on offense.
Yeah, we've seen it so far in these first 2 plays that the staple of this offense is to run. So the best run blockers on the team are the right guard, Nico Siragusa, and the right tackle, Daniel Brunskill. Both are seniors and have drawn interest from NFL scouts, so look for them to lead the way today for one of the nation's best rushing attacks.
.294 rushing yards a game. 5th in the country. 3rd and 5 here with the Cowboys showing pressure. Pumphrey motions out. Chapman scrambling, heaving downfield, incomplete. On the sideline intended for Eric Judge near the 50. But San Diego State will go 3 and out on the opening offensive possession. Lucas Waka brings the pressure.
Yeah, he walked up into that A-gap, gets blocked, but because the ball gets pulled down by Chapman, he stays alive and flushes him out to the right. Chapman held the ball, tried to get rid of it late, but credit that pressure that time by Wyoming being aggressive early to get themselves off the field.
Tanner Blaine will punt it away to Austin Conway, who had a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown last week against UNLV. Fair catch here for Conway. Backs up to the 22-yard line. Wyoming a field goal the last time the Cowboys had it, but they trail it 7-3.
Welcome back to War Memorial Stadium. It is 7-3 Aztecs, and head coaches Rocky Long and Craig Bohl are good friends. Despite never coaching together, the two have a lot of similarities. They're both older in the coaching world. Rocky Long is 66, Bohl is 58. They're both old school defensive guys who believe in hard-hitting football, and this might not seem like a big deal, but in college football it actually is. They don't believe in third jerseys and fashionable uniforms. It's white jerseys on the road and dark jerseys at home. Guys, Coach Long told me that the two are close friends, and they both have the same philosophy on how a football team should run. And Coach Bohl said they see eye to eye, and old school football is back.
Hey, Coach Bohl, a Nebraska guy through and through, and played for Tom Osborne, and started his. He's from Lincoln, played at Nebraska, and got his coaching start under Tom Osborne. So as far as building a program, says there are principles to how you do it, and you're seeing that for Wyoming right now. Inside give, get it around the 25-yard line. And I know that's one of your big takeaways from college football in 2016.
Yeah, when you go back and look at the modern football era, back to 98, the BCS era, if you will, the average defensive ranking is 11. You back out the outlier 2010 with Auburn, who was 60th, it jumps up to 8. The bottom line is to win football and championships, and Rocky Long has proved that you have to play good defense, so your offense has to marry that and complement it very well. Craig Bohl knows that. He's had success with it before, and he's trying to do that again here in Laramie.
Allen throws complete on 2nd and 6. That's C.J. Johnson, a redshirt freshman from Bellevue, Nebraska, with just his 11th catch of the season. Baldwin on the stop.
This coaching staff told us that they needed to string some drives together. They knew they were going to have to hit some big plays over the top. They did a nice job of that in this first series. But giving their defense a chance to rest, San Diego State limits possessions by playing keep away themselves. So far offensively, this has been a really good start to the game for the Cowboys.
Allen, the redshirt sophomore quarterback, with Gentry in motion. Going to inside give again to Brian Hill across the 40-yard line. He has another first down, pushing the pile to near the 45. Henderson and Baldwin combined on the tackle.
Well, we talked old school football. This is one of my favorite football plays. Keep your eye right here on the right guard, Caden Jackson. Just going to be a simple power play. Going to slide up, get up to that next level, seal the linebacker coming in from the other side, Ronley Lakalaka, for a nice gash up inside against a defense that's pretty stingy against the run.
Remember all the discussion around college football a few years ago? All right, is this basketball on grass? Is it? I mean, all spread, hurry up, keep the defense just guessing and try and run it quicker than they can as Hill takes it again. This is the exact opposite of that. I mean, this is, as you said, power and G scheme and offensive line, and my hunch is you like watching this brand of football.
As much as football has changed, it stayed the same. No matter what you do in terms of how many wide receivers you have on the field, 3 or 4, or how fast you go, it's still a game of blocking and tackling. I think the unintended consequence of the hurry-up, no-huddle spread has been lack of physicality, particularly on the defensive side. And that's more a function of how you practice. So if you want to be successful, even Alabama that's gone to some 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, you have to practice running the football during the week and throughout the year.
Allen scrambling after the fake to Hill, and he is going to slip away for a first down. And Allen on the scramble. Calvin Munson finally makes the stop for San Diego State, but the Cowboys are moving it against San Diego State.
They are, and Josh Allen has some legs. He keeps his eyes downfield. Credit the coverage so far from San Diego State. They've done a nice job of limiting the opportunities for Josh Allen to throw, but then it starts to break down. He pulls his eyes down. There's nowhere for him to go, so he pulls the ball, makes a nice open field move to move the chains.
It's Wick in the backfield now on 1st and 10 as Hill gets a rare break. Allen's going to throw it incomplete to the outside. Casey had Price locked up. They do some chatting after the play. No flags. Officials separate them, and no doubt they'll both get a little warning.
I'm wondering who had who locked up on that last one. That's what I love about this Wyoming team, and you saw it on film. They're a physical bunch. It's clear that Craig Bohl has changed the attitude of this team. They've gone from this hurry-up, no-huddle spread kind of finesse type of team. They've changed their attitude. This is a blue-collar bunch of guys that I think you have to be to even want to come and play football here. He challenges them, and these guys rise to the occasion.
And again, Nebraska at the Hill was frustrated. We saw him just throw something, maybe a mouthpiece. So Hill is back on the Wyoming sideline, not out there for 2nd and 10. And we will keep eyes on that as the 50-year senior Sean Wick is in there running back. Allen throws tipped and incomplete, and that was nearly picked. Dangerous pass. Laka nearly had the interception.
Yeah, Laka had a pick 6 in that Cal game. He's just going to undercut this out route. And this is something I noticed, and I think Allen has to be careful today. In the first half of that game a week ago, there were 3 balls of his that got touched by defenders. The 4th one ended up being an interception. So that's something to keep your eye on. Ronnie Laka-Laka's got a good nose for the football, and that's his first pass breakup of the day.
San Diego State leads the nation in interceptions. Allen, 3rd and 10. Deep shot, and it's incomplete. Just overthrew Mulhart. Allen has missed his last 3 throws after starting 3 for 3.
That's unfortunate. You see the arm strength there. He threw the football too far outside. He's got to throw that football so it can meet up with the receiver about 5 or 6 yards inside the out-of-bounds marker. An errant throw was a missed opportunity that could have been huge for the Cowboys.
Ethan Wood will punt it away. Quest Truxton back for San Diego State. Wood in his 47th consecutive start at punter hangs that one beautifully inside the 10. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. Right around the 8-yard line. So it's San Diego State with a 7-3 lead on Wyoming. But the Cowboys have the Aztecs. And Donnel Pumphrey pinned back. San Diego State has won 19 of its last 20 games, leads this one 7-3. Our Phillips 66 Athlete of the Week, Donnel Pumphrey, 27 rushes of 15-plus yards. That's the most in the nation. Almost all of his rushing yards have been in the first 3 quarters. He hasn't played 3 games in the 4th quarters. Those big numbers from Pro Football Focus. And you see, I mean, Donnel Pumphrey has put up these amazing numbers, even though they have not run up numbers for number 19 at all.
Yeah, he's done a good job, and credit that offensive line for paving the way for him to be able to do that. You throw the film on for 5 seconds, you see he's explosive and has an ability to be able to make people miss. And with as fast as the Aztecs get out of the gate, it's been a challenge.
Now Pumphrey's going to take it again on 1st and 10. Spinning, keeping his feet out to the 15-yard line. A chance for us to look at the Wyoming defensive starters.
Yeah, senior middle linebacker Lucas Walker is the quarterback of this Cowboy defense. Had a pressure early in the game. He's an active linebacker with a nose for the football. 16 tackles and a sack in last week's thrilling overtime loss to UNLV. I think he's got to lead the charge today by defeating blocks and tackling extremely well. That's been one of the touchy points for this defense so far.
Younger brother of St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Michael Waka. 2nd and 3. Pumphrey's going to take it again. Pumphrey has the first down of the game for San Diego State. He has all of San Diego State's offense. This is just their second offensive possession. It's been all Pumphrey.
This is going to be a lead. You're going to see the fullback come here, but Donnel Pumphrey, because of his vision, is able to hit it backside. He has this innate ability to see the openings and to be his own blocker. You saw right there, number 7, DJ May, the converted running back, got lost. Before he blinked, Pumphrey was gone.
23 yards for Pumphrey. Play action. Chapman on the roll. Chapman has room to run. Goes out of bounds as he crosses the 32-yard line. Hull forces him out. But a good gain for Chapman on first down.
And I think I saw a beautiful block that time by Parker Houston, kind of peeling back, looking out to help his buddy. Just a bootleg play action. Keep your eye here on the bottom of the screen. I think it was 82 right there. Ooh, love it. Parker Houston having to play because of wearing number 87, who's out this season with a knee, another true freshman.
Well, that's the thing about San Diego State. They're 9-1, and they have absorbed something like that. Some big injuries. Donnel Pumphrey is driven back. Waka makes the stop, but there is a flag down. Pumphrey 9 yards away from passing Tony Dorsett for 3rd place.
There's no foul for defensive holding.
David Alvarez with that explanation. No flag on the play.
Well, we talked about Lucas Walker having to make a play. He did right there. Now we know, here he is right here. He's just going to scrape here on the pin and pull scheme and he's going to slide. He sees fast flow. He avoids the block right there. That's shedding tackles, getting to the point of attack, playing downhill. That's a great start, exactly what this defense wanted, and they're going to need some more of that here on 3rd down.
3rd and 3 out of the eye. Chapman gives to Pumphrey again. Another flag down. Pumphrey pushes across. He's short of the first down as Logan Wilson makes the stop. And now we check the flag. The redshirt freshman.
Defense for 93. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Shiloh Windsor defensive holding. A lot of times when you're trying to combination block, the defenders grab onto the offensive lineman to not allow them to climb to the 2nd level. You very rarely hear that called, but it got called on that last play on 3rd down, and that moves the sticks for San Diego State. San Diego State's usually been the team so far that struggled with penalties, but here early on, a very costly one for the Cowboys.
It's just the 2nd possession for San Diego State. First one was 3 and out. They got the touchdown on the opening kickoff return from Penny. So 1st and 10 from the 45. Play action. Chapman deep shot looking for Holder, and it's incomplete. Good coverage from Antonio Hull, the sophomore corner.
Thought he might have had the tight end there and should have came back maybe to the left on the seam. Good coverage that time by Wyoming on that back end to affect that completion. I mean, this isn't an offense that is heavily predicated on throwing the football. We laughed with offensive coordinator Jeff Horton last week, saying that they exploded offensively throwing the football with over 146 passing yards last week.
Evans 0 for 2 passing. Give it right back to Donnel Pumphrey on 2nd down. Another short gain. Only 2 yards. Wingard there on the stop. The sophomore free safety to bring up 3rd and 8.
What I'm noticing is Wyoming is selling out, loading the box, making it really hard for San Diego State to get an opportunity to get anything going offensively. When you look at Pumphrey's yards by carry, each time he's touched the football, 2 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards, then he got one out for 11. His last 3 have been 1, 2, and 2. Wyoming doing a nice job of stopping the run game so far today.
to bring up 3rd and 8. Aztecs like to go for it on 4th down. Bear that in mind. Play action. Chapman is going to tuck it. Now he heaves it at the last second. Incomplete pass intended for Rashaad Penny. Before Chapman's going to the ground, he tosses it out for Penny. Incomplete pass, 4th down. And that was a dangerous last-second toss from Chapman.
Yeah, keep your eye up to the top of the screen. Number 92 beating the left tackle, Quade Miller inside. Shiloh Windsor, 6'3", 224-pound, pretty athletic defensive end. Beats the tackle inside, and once again gets himself and the defense off the field.
Cowboys have held the San Diego State offense scoreless so far. Blaine's punt. Conway fields it at the 10. Conway dragged down as he loses 3 yards, and a nice open field tackle by Cameron Kelly. 7-3 as
on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition. By Ram Trucks, America's longest lasting pickups. And by Bud Light. Raise one to right now.
That was Thursday night. The crew here at War Memorial Stadium had to get it ready for play, and then sure enough, you end up with sunny skies and 50 degrees at kickoff for the Aztecs and the Cowboys. The score is 7-3 on that kickoff return for San Diego State, but the numbers favor Wyoming.
Wyoming's done a beautiful job so far today on both sides of the football. Nice offensive response on the first play of the game to be able to push the ball downfield, get a field goal out of it. And the defense is what I've been impressed with so far today. They've done a really nice job. Now they're loading the box to take away the run from San Diego State. The Aztecs have to be able to throw the football today to be able to get them to back up and get that offense going.
Hill is back in the ball game for Wyoming. Takes it to near the 13-yard line. Parker Baldwin on the stop. College, that other pregame show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Adam Shine and the gang get you ready for Week 11 with a unique angle on your NFL Sunday. That other pregame show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. That's Conway in motion on 2nd and 5. Give it to Hill again, straight up the middle, leaning forward, and he has another first down with Baldwin and Laka there on the stop. But you see that lean and push from Hill late to get the first down.
Yeah, they're just pulling the backside guard, Gavin Rush, here around, just taking advantage of some double team blocks on the play side. Bam, right there. I tell you what, Wyoming is putting on a clinic so far early on in this game, showing the Aztecs how it's done up front running the football.
That's quite a statement. Hill, now I say he picked up the first down. They marked him obviously just short. So this is 3rd and short. And now Allen on the roll, and now he has the first down. So I thought Hill had the first down, but regardless, Allen picks it up anyway. Laka forces him out.
I agree with you there. And man, every defense that you've ever played on any level has to have somebody that sets the edge there. Allen just showing you once again he is a threat with his legs. The Aztecs, I think, are going to have to come off the outside edges with some pressure to negate his ability to hurt them with his legs. Right now, the Aztecs kind of struggling to find some solutions to Wyoming moving the football on the ground.
Wick is in the backfield on 1st and 10. Fake the sweep, give it to Wick, straight ahead. Gain of about 3 to the 25-yard line. Wyoming's 3rd possession. They went 9 plays, got a field goal, and 8 plays and a punt. Now for Josh Allen, the redshirt sophomore from near Fresno, California. Spent 1 year at Reedley Community College near his hometown in Fresno. So had the big injury last year in his 2nd game, rehabbed hard to get ready, get back on the field for his sophomore year. He's definitely a gunslinger. So, Craig Bohl saying we want to reel him in just a bit where he protects the football. And on 2nd and 7, there's an easy completion to the outside to Hill. A short gain for Hill on the catch, just his 5th reception of the year.
Yeah, unlike Donnel Pumphrey, Brian Hill, somebody that just runs with the football with a short pass. when it's in his gut and just running between the tackles. But that was a nice swing pass. San Diego State not nearly as active defensively today as I've seen them be in the past. Typically, there's a lot more edge pressure, a lot more stunts, which is crisscrossing the defensive lineman. Let's see what they dial up here on third down.
3rd and 4 with just 6 seconds left in the quarter. See if they get it off. In fact, they do. Allen, what looks like it may have been a busted play. He tucks it and scrambles for a first down to the 35. So on the final play of the first quarter, Allen moves it again for the Cowboys. It's San Diego State who has the 7-3 lead at the end of one. But the Wyoming Cowboys standing tall here in Laramie. 7-3 at the end of one. 7-3 San Diego State over Wyoming here in Laramie at War Memorial Stadium, where earlier this year it was Wyoming beating 13th ranked Boise State. Spurback on one of those classic Boise State specials to the quarterback Rippon, who takes it in. Allen with a deep shot to the back of the end zone for Gentry. One of the many huge TD grabs for Gentry this year. But the key play, the safety, quite a dance as well. And that is why Wyoming controls its own destiny. So Boise State with a win last night over UNLV. They're 6-1. But if Wyoming wins out, they not only win the Mountain Division, they would host the Mountain West Conference Championship game here in Laramie, most likely. But I mean, this is San Diego State's already clinched the West. Wyoming had the inside track on the Mountain Division, even though Boise State is ranked and has one more conference win.
Yeah, and that's exactly where you want to be if you're Craig Bohl and this football team. You want to be able to control your own destiny. Now, taking on San Diego State and then New Mexico a week from now, is that the easiest route to do that? No, but it's an opportunity. For them to take that next step, they have to find a way to get this win today. Coach Bohl didn't think that they were there yet, but they're on their way, and you never know. So far, San Diego State, maybe a little flat.
Allen, downfield complete, inside the 45-yard line. It's Gentry who makes the grab, but Kelly in coverage. It's another 20-yard gain for Wyoming.
Carter, that's only the third big play of 20-plus yards so far here today. Coming into this game, the Aztecs led the Mountain West Conference. Only 30 such plays prior to kicking today allowed so far this entire season. Wyoming is being successful offensively because they're able to push the football downfield and get some big chunk yardage plays.
Third drive, third time they've taken it 8 or more plays, Wyoming. But only 3 points to show for it so far. Inside give goes to Hill. He is stopped at the point of attack by Noble Hall, the sophomore defensive tackle. And only a yard gain by Hill, the junior from Belleville, Illinois. Grew up in East St. Louis and high school in Belleville, Illinois. His cousin, Pierre Guy Tucker, played for Craig Bohl at North Dakota State. So that was how he ends up going from Illinois to Wyoming. And he's the Cowboys' all-time leading rusher. He's closing in on another single-season rushing record that he set last year.
Just a heck of a player. Great story. I mean, he's the type of guy that Craig Bohl wants to build this roster around, not just from production, but his perseverance.
2nd and 9. Allen on the run again. Chased by the Aztec pressure. Throws it, and it's intercepted. Across his body, Baldwin has the pick. Goes down right at the 25. Here come multiple flags at the end of the play. But Allen on the roll throws his 11th interception. It's the 20th pick by the San Diego State defense this year.
They lead the country in interceptions, and we talked about it. Craig Bohl told us if they're going to win this game, they've got to win the turnover battle. I said at the beginning of the game, in their 3 losses this year, they were -7. In their wins, +10. Another errant, ill-advised throw by Allen results in an interception.
Yikes.
The ruling on the field was an interception. After the play, personal foul, late hit, intercepting team. Half loose to the goal, first down.
So the interception stands back up San Diego State after the pick. So personal foul, and you see Allen, who Craig Bohl said we got to dial it back a bit with that gunslinger mentality, but I mean, that's You see the positives and the minus. He's not afraid to roll out and throw it deep, but sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you had just said earlier in the broadcast that dialing it back not too much. You don't want to put the reins on a thoroughbred, but that's just a throw you can't make. That's a quarterback trying to force it and do too much.
San Diego State gets the football back with its 20th interception. The Aztecs lead it 7-3. San Diego State already has the Mountain West Conference West Division wrapped up. 7-3 lead here on Wyoming. Time to take a look at the Nissan Heisman Watch. Later on, the guys in New York get you up to date on the leading Heisman contenders. Weigh in on who they think will take home the sport's most coveted trophy. But, Aaron, you have Donnel Pumphrey among your Heisman favorites.
Yeah, I do. I think he's had a tremendous year, and I think it'd be a mistake not to invite him based on his production this season to New York City. Lamar Jackson, it was his to lose, but based on what happened to them on Thursday night, he has certainly joined the rest of the field. The guy to keep your eye on, I think, is D.D. Westbrook. Just a tremendous scoring threat and a big reason why Oklahoma's in the top 10. Keep your eye on him.
And yet, as San Diego State will do, alternating running backs. It's Rashaad Penny in the backfield who takes it on 1st and 10. Penny, who had over 200 rushing yards last week, had the kickoff return for a touchdown to get it started. Now, Wyoming has sold out against the run.
They certainly have. They gave up 400 yards against UNLV a week ago, but they're running to the football. They're tackling well. They're corralling it, keeping everything inside and in front. The longest run today, Pumphrey had an 11-yarder. But San Diego State not having the success that it needs on early downs, which puts them in a bind on 3rd down, where they've been very unsuccessful today.
Chapman on 2nd and 7. Another deep shot. And this time it is hauled in. Complete. Quest Truxton makes the grab. The first completed pass of the day for San Diego State goes for 27 yards.
And that's what the Aztecs are going to have to do today, is to make them pay for that man coverage. They're loading the box to take away the run. Quest Truxton's had a reception in each of the last 3 games, make that 4 straight. But beautiful location that time by Kristen Chapman, throwing that football where only Truxton can go up and get it. That's a nice and the biggest pass play we've seen by far today by the Aztecs.
By far, the only one they've completed. Penny on 1st and 10. Penny breaks free again. Rashaad Penny inside the Wyoming 20-yard line, and he's finally shoved out by Hull. A kickoff return for a touchdown for 93 yards from Penny. And now a 39-yard run.
Well, this is just going to be a nice, so keep your eye right here on Nico Siragusa and the rest of that left side of the offensive line. Nick Bodden, the fullback's going to lead up inside, but he creates that nice cavern there, and it's just a downhill straight run by Rashaad Penny. We saw his speed earlier on in the game on the kickoff return for touchdown. Well, there he might have used up a little too much because he gets snatched. His buddies in the film room are going to talk about him for that one.
135 all-purpose yards for Penny. So bring Pumphrey back into the game, and he is actually going to lose at least a yard as DJ May, the senior strong side linebacker, makes the tackle. So Pumphrey and Penny. And you talk to the NFL scouts, I mean, Donnel Pumphrey definitely has a chance to be a productive NFL running back. Rashaad Penny, 5'11", 220. He's got the build and the legs and the hips that translates a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Donnel Pumphrey on the next level. I think it's going to have to be a special circumstance. There's no question that he's talented.
Chapman on the roll. There's the second completed pass of the day, and that goes to Parker Houston, the true freshman tight end.
You just wonder if Donnel Pumphrey has the physical build and makeup to endure a 16-game regular season. I think he has to be kind of a special situational player, like you look at a Reggie Bush and even a Darren Sproles, much more physical, smaller stature running backs than Donnel Pumphrey.
Pumphrey's in there for 3rd and 7. They will motion him out of the backfield in these situations as well.
Aztecs perfect in the red zone a week ago with 3 touchdowns. And 5 for 5 on total attempts.
On 3rd and 7, Chapman on the roll again, has room to run again, and he will scramble for a first down inside the 10. So 1st and goal, San Diego State.
Great decision that time by Christian Chapman. He saw the blitz, and it's almost like this was a hot read, whereas predetermined. He made his mind up pretty quick that he was going to take that ball. Oftentimes you see a rugby-style punter that rolls to the outside. If he sees the coverage disappear, he takes it, gets the first down. Well, Christian Chapman did a very similar thing there, using his legs, trying to show Allen on the other side that he's got some get up and go as well. I think he runs about a 5'7".
They don't release those generally. Pumphrey's going to take it on first and goal, stood up and driven back again, and it's clear. I mean, Wyoming, you mentioned the numbers, 402 rushing yards to UNLV last week, and they have held the Aztecs mostly in check.
Look right here. This is what Wyoming is doing. They're flexing their defenders off the football. That's number 57, Chase Appleby. They're kind of playing him in the no man's land. He's typically an undersized, very quick nose tackle, but they're playing him in a kind of a hybrid linebacker position, which makes it very hard for the offensive line to use their same footwork to block him. That adjustment by Wyoming defense is a big reason why they're being successful up front.
On second and goal, play action, Chapman on the roll. Nobody faked out, so he just dumps it near the 6-yard line. Lolo Hea gets the pressure on Chapman outside the tackle box. Third and goal coming up.
The last 5 runs for Pumphrey
The quarterback was outside the pocket.
haven't been what they've needed to be.
Third down.
And that's the player that we just talked about. That defensive line for Wyoming doing a nice job of creating some pressure against this offense. The Aztecs like to run that boot game, and it looks like they're going to talk about it.
Timeout San Diego State prior to third and goal.
San Diego State. It's called their first time out of the half.
The Aztecs' only score came on the opening kickoff return for a touchdown for Rashaad Penny. So they have yet to score against the Wyoming defense. They'll have third and goal coming out of this timeout. So for Donnel Pumphrey,
30 seconds in length.
4th in NCAA history in rushing yards, but he is 6 away from passing Tony Dorsett for 3rd on the all-time list, with only Ricky Williams and Ron Dane ahead of him. Break down week 11 in the NFL. Our panel of former pro quarterbacks gets inside the minds of the biggest stars in football. It's NFL Monday Quarterback, delivered by FedEx, Monday 5 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network.
Well, it's interesting, Carter. You take a look here at this third down red zone situations. I mean, that is a double up on important downs and situations in football. The Aztecs haven't been able to run, so my guess is play action passing isn't going to be nearly as effective. Maybe a screen, maybe a reverse. You hope that Wyoming is a little bit aggressive here, but keep your eyes on the tight ends. There are big targets down here that Chapman likes to throw to.
Pumphrey motions out on third and goal. Chapman trips and falls back at the 11. He stumbles coming away from the center, Flores. Chapman dropped on third and goal. So 4th and goal, and here comes the field goal unit.
It's going to be the right foot of Antonio Rosales, the right guard. It's a turn protection. He's coming down to that A-gap, but he gives ground with that left foot. Too quickly, too fast, too deep. Chapman trips on him and sacks himself.
27-yard field goal coming from John Barron, the sophomore, who is 14 for 16 on the year, and that one sneaks through. Good pressure off the edge from Wyoming, but Barron boots it through. San Diego State with a 10-3 lead in Laramie. Well, brought to you, of course, by Dr. Pepper. War Memorial Stadium here in Laramie, Wyoming, 7,220 feet above sea level. That's highest in the FBS. Now, down the road in Gunnison, Colorado, Western State has a higher elevation. They play Division II football. So, highest in the FBS, and they let you know it's on the sides of the fields. It's right here at War Memorial Stadium. That elevation. Now, you think about Qualcomm Stadium where San Diego plays its home games. At elevation 62, there's a discrepancy between the mountain side of the Mountain West Conference and the west side of the Mountain West Conference.
The Aztecs that play in Mission Valley,
right?
They're lucky to get that 62 feet of vertical altitude. It's thin up here a little bit.
Yes. Now, of course, Rocky Long and San Diego State saying it plays no factor. We get long breaks. Guys get plenty of time to rest. They try to play it down. Wyoming obviously tried to play to their advantage. Barron's kickoff, and we have Hill back in the end zone for Wyoming. He'll let it bounce out the back for a touchback. Let's check in with Jenny Dell.
The guy's elevation might be affecting Donnel Pumphrey a bit. He was just on the training table. They were looking at his lower back, kind of massaging it out, his glutes, and then they stretched out that left leg. So just something to keep an eye on.
Thank you, Jenny. Trying to get those glutes activated on the training table for Donnel Pumphrey. Last 5 carries for Donnel Pumphrey, only 3 yards. And yet, it's 10-3 San Diego State, even though Pumphrey has only 26 so far in the game.
Yeah, those carries went for 0, -2, 1, 3, and 1 positive yards. Wyoming's balling out. And then they got to finish and protect the football offensively.
Hill and Wick in the backfield. It's Wick who takes the first down carry for not much. Jay Henderson there on the stop. In fact, no gain on 1st and 10. Last Wyoming possession ended in the interception by Allen. The 20th pick of the year by San Diego State. They converted into a field goal to take the 10-3 lead.
That was a matchup I was wanting to take a look at, as these big physical receivers against the good but undersized defensive backs of San Diego State.
Allen 2nd and 10. Pressured, scrambling. Gets maybe a yard. Barrett makes a stop. And you talk about the turnover margin, which San Diego State has been so good at. Craig Bohl saying yesterday, every coach says we have to win the turnover battle, right? Craig Bohl said, no, we need to be +2. They're a more experienced veteran team. For us to win this football game, we need to be +2. Right now, they're -1 after the pick.
Yeah, turnovers, I think, are the biggest statistical indicator of win-loss, and certainly played a role in the Florida LSU game earlier on. And it's done the same for Wyoming all season. That means their defense has to get them 3.
3rd and 9, screen tipped, incomplete. It's Henderson again. The junior has played huge for San Diego State. Jay Henderson. It's a 3 and out for Wyoming. So after the Cowboys' first 3 drives productive, only 3 points. Now it's a pick and a 3 and out.
Yeah, they found a soft spot on that right tackle, Brinkley Jolly, who's coming off a mono in the spring. They lost Ryan Cummings, who is their biggest offensive tackle, 320 pounds. Brinkley, because of having mono earlier on, isn't the biggest and most physical of offensive tackles. And San Diego State finding a weak spot and testing it here early.
Wood, short punt, out of bounds at the 30. Aztecs get the football back with a touchdown lead at Wyoming. San Diego State and Wyoming have both enjoyed some hardwood success in recent years. And speaking of basketball, the 2016 Paradise Jam from the U.S. Virgin Islands. And Sunday, your semifinal matchups here on CBS Sports Network, including Ole Miss. Overtime winner over Oral Roberts. They'll take on St. Joe's. And then it's NC State against 22nd ranked Creighton from the Virgin Islands. Sunday on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So the first 3 possessions for San Diego State, you go 3 and out, the punt, and then the 10-play field goal drive, while Wyoming on its last 2 possessions, an interception, and then 3 and out. And sure enough, Aztecs have the 10-3 lead. So even though the numbers look good for Wyoming early, it's been the Aztecs who've led throughout.
Yeah, and I think San Diego State's going to go back to its lead game, get that fullback on some of the defenders and try and get upfield. But once again, Wyoming setting the edge, flowing to the football, and stopping the Aztecs from being successful on first down, which immediately puts them out of the chains or behind the chains and takes them out of their strengths.
Nice tackle by Waka.
Waka's such an effective player, scraping down the line of scrimmage. He's not the most physical guy, so it's not like he comes downhill and shocks and sheds. But this defense is designed to allow him to run free, and it's done a beautiful job of that so far.
Chapman, quick drop, it's covered up, so he's going to tuck it. He's going to scramble for a couple, but there's a flag down. Waka makes the tackle again, and now we check the flag. Referee David Alvarez. On San Diego State.
Legal formation, offense, 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, you're only allowed to have 4 offensive players in the backfield. Look at the depth that the left tackle has off the line of scrimmage. They're counting him off, and together with the quarterback, the running back, and the receiver on the far side of the top of the screen, that's one too many.
Good call. They'll give you a little bit of leeway there at left tackle, but not that much.
Offensive linemen love to cheat our stance because it gives us a little bit more time and helps us in pass protection.
2nd and 17. Chapman inside give. Pumphrey on the right side. Breaking tackles. Pumphrey gets 3, maybe 4. Epps there on the stop. But Wyoming continue to corral Donnel Pumphrey.
They did a nice job on the little delayed draw there. Pumphrey breaks tackles. There's one there. There's another missed one there. But because there's enough hats around the football, it ends up being Marcus Epps that gets a tackle. A week ago against UNLV, there were 2 people. I think it was Wingard and DJ May had the back wrapped up, but ended up letting them go, and it ended up being a 21-yard touchdown with 2 guys wrapped around the ball carrier's ankles.
3rd and 13. Chapman. There's another flag down, and they're going to whistle this one dead before the screen to Pumphrey. And Chapman took a hit after the flag, but that one doesn't draw a penalty.
Screens are based off deception, so that's pretty poor timing there for the Aztecs.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 6, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 4:46, please. 4:46.
The Aztecs not looking too sharp here today, Carter. They've struggled with penalties all year long. They have back-to-back penalties. They're now in a 3rd and long situation.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 4:46, please. 4:46.
You run your screen game to give yourself an opportunity to take advantage of aggression, but you just tipped your hat there because of the penalty. That puts offensive coordinator Jeff Horton in a bind here on this play call.
Obviously having trouble getting the game clock.
4:46, please. 4:46.
This is like resetting your clock after a time change. Sometimes it gets tricky. 4:46. Well, those 4 seconds, I mean, San Diego State has a 3rd and long play here. Then you figure they probably punt, give it back to Wyoming. And in a game that's going to have, possessions are going to be limited because both teams time of possession, running the football, running the clock. This could be a big possession coming for Wyoming. Pumphrey's going to take it straight ahead. Pumphrey near the 1st down. On 3rd and long, 3rd and 18, Pumphrey picks up 17. And with those 17 yards, he moves into 3rd place all time, but he is short of the 1st down.
This is just a gash up inside. I'm actually surprised that San Diego State's not going to go for it here on 4th down, given what they got on that pickup there. But, man, take a look at Donnel Pumphrey. He's moving into 3rd all-time with almost 6,100 rushing yards. 3rd in FBS history, passes Tony Dorsett.
So only Ricky Williams and Ron Dane ahead of Donnel Pumphrey now. That punt is going to sail well into the end zone. So Blaine punts it through the back. Wyoming has it at the 20 with just under 4 minutes to go before the half. Aztecs have won 17 straight against conference opponents. That is the longest streak in the nation. Coming up on the Ram Halftime Report, we'll send you back to New York. Brent, Christian, and Houston getting you updated on what has already been an eventful Saturday, including Florida's win over LSU. So the former Colorado State coach here in the Mountain West Conference, Jim McElwain, goes to the SEC, and he has clinched his 2nd straight SEC East title. They'll play in the SEC Championship. Michigan State goes for 2. Don't get it. Buckeyes hang on in East Lansing.
Well, we had a conversation about that up here. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, they don't have anything to lose.
Right.
I was like, man, give yourself a chance in that situation. You're at home. I think it was a premature call. Now, of course, I didn't see anything leading up to that because I was getting ready for our own game. But sometimes I think you can get too cute, but credit the Buckeyes for getting a win. And I think Michigan State might get a win next week as well against Old Penn State.
First and 10, Allen, inside give, Hill across the 25-yard line. Hill dragging the Aztec defense to near the 35. So Wyoming with only 3 points on the board, but they have a chance for a big drive at the end of the half.
Well, running the football sets everything up if you're Wyoming. They're having a ton of success running inside the tackles. And when you crisscross your defensive line like that, I've seen Brian Hill do this. The key is to go downhill. Be patient, let the trash clear, hit the crease, and that's exactly what old number 5 did on that last one.
59 in the first half. Hill averages 142, fourth in the nation. Allen throws complete to the outside. C.J. Johnson, second big grab of the day into Aztec territory. Here comes a flag at the end of the play after Johnson was knocked out at the 38 for a gain of 27. Laka and Smith on the stop on the sideline. And we may have 15 more coming.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 12 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's a couple penalties that are kind of cheap penalties. Look at the space right here that the cornerback, Ron Smith, the true freshman, has on a pretty good wide receiver. Just a beautiful ball thrown on a rope. Then he misses a tackle right there. That missed tackle is what allows for that extra yardage and has Wyoming knocking on the door here at the end of the second quarter.
So with the penalty yardage, first and 10 from the 23 for Wyoming. Play action. Allen. Incomplete, just throws it away with pressure in his face. And for Wyoming, they receive the kickoff in the second half. So you have a chance essentially to double up. 3:01 left in the half, score before halftime, and get the football to begin the second half.
This is huge. A touchdown would be exactly what the doctor ordered for him, but some point, some way, even if it's a field goal, would be crucial. So protecting the football like we just saw Josh Allen do there with that great decision to throw it away keeps them right on track to do that.
Allen inside give, that's Hill, stretching on the right side. Not much there. We talked to Brent Vigen, offensive coordinator, who was tight end at North Dakota State, offensive coordinator for the Bison, and then now into Wyoming. Said he thinks the biggest thing that this team has learned is we are never out of it. Those first couple years when you lose a lot of games, it's a totally different attitude on this year's team. And this is only a touchdown game, but they have played 2 triple overtime games. They lost one last week, UNLV. But that's been the biggest change in year 3 for the Cowboys.
Well, this offense is matched score for San Diego State. The Aztecs offense has only kicked a field goal as well.
On 3rd and 7, Allen complete, short of the first down. Gentry makes the grab, but he stopped short as Laka makes the tackle. And you got 4th down coming up for the Cowboys deep in Aztec territory, and the offense appears to be staying out there for 4th and 1.
I like it. Your defense has played pretty well so far today. You've got this opportunity. I'm wondering why Gentry didn't run a route that got him beyond the sticks. But nevertheless, Craig Bohl and Vigen said this team needs to be physical up front. They're going to get their shot right here.
4th down for just the 9th time this year. Allen keeps it. Allen pushes forward for a first down for Wyoming with 1:39. The Cowboys convert on 4th and 1.
Great play call that time by offensive coordinator Brent Vigen. We've seen Allen's legs here in the first half extend drives. They do it again. And I got to say, the interior of that defense for San Diego State is as soft as I've maybe seen them all season long.
That's a defense that only gives up 15 a game. They've only allowed 3 to Wyoming. But 1st and 10, out of the eye, give it to Hill. Good block on the outside. Touchdown, Wyoming. Brian Hill takes it in from 11 yards. A 4th down conversion leads to a touchdown. And Wyoming, a PAT away from tying it with 1:14 to go before the half.
Man, to beat the champ, you got to be the champ. I love the aggressive play call on 4th down. Josh Allen uses his legs to extend the drive. And how fitting is it that Brian Hill, the running back, against the San Diego State defense, runs a G scheme, one of the bread and butter plays for the Aztecs, to get into the end zone and tie this game up.
The first offensive touchdown of the game comes for Brian Hill, his 17th rushing touchdown of the year, 5th in the nation for the junior from Illinois.
Keep your eye on the left guard, Gavin Rush. A G scheme is when you pull the play side guard to kick out away from the football. That is old school football. We talked about it at the top of the game, Carter. This was tight ends, it's fullbacks. It's controlling the line of scrimmage, and Wyoming did an excellent job against one of the country's best defenses on that last series.
That is just the 5th rushing touchdown allowed by the San Diego State defense this year.
Pretty impressive by this Wyoming bunch. There's a lot for them to play for. They control their own destiny to win the Mountain Division. It's senior day. They had that bad loss and that taste of that triple overtime loss to UNLV in their mouth. And I'd say pretty so far in this first half, Wyoming is starting to brush his teeth with the Aztecs.
Wyoming had a win over Boise State when they were AP Top 25. San Diego State not ranked in the college football playoff rankings, but they are ranked in the AP Top 25. If Wyoming were to win this game, it would be the first time since 1999, first year of the Mountain West Conference, that the Cowboys have 2 wins over AP Top 25 teams in the same season. That kickoff is going to go out of bounds, so the Aztecs will get it at the 35-yard line with 1:14. So the kick out of bounds sets up San Diego State with 2 timeouts.
Kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
So Wyoming was picked 6th, last place in the Mountain Division. Colorado State in 1999, they were picked 6th, finished 5-2, shared the title. That was the first year of the Mountain West Conference. TCU, before their move to the Big 12, also picked 6th in 2005. They went undefeated in Mountain West Conference play. So Wyoming overachieving in year number 3 under Craig Bohl. 1st and 10, San Diego State from the 35. Chapman over the middle. That is complete. Slipping across the 43-yard line is Eric Judge. That is just the 2nd catch for him in the last 6 games.
Now remember, their kicker, John Barron, has a pretty good leg. San Diego State needs to get to the 33-yard line to kick a field goal here. So if you're Wyoming, keep everything inside in front. Don't give up any big plays.
Chapman, dangerous pass. It's incomplete. That was intended for the tight end Wells, but it brings up 3rd and short.
Lucas Walker all over the coverage there that time. I don't know how dangerous of a pass that ultimately is because of Wells' body. He can shield it away. I think that was just great coverage that time by 45.
3rd and 2, 46 seconds. High snap. Chapman holds it in on 3rd and 2, zips it complete across the 50. First down. It's Judge who holds it in again. So 1 catch in the last 5 games, and then on the same drive, Judge gets 2 grabs. Wilson there on the stop.
Yeah, had a catch a week ago for 16 yards. Got great speed, but he's been inconsistent. His hands aren't the best. Did a nice job there, not only making the catch, extending the chains, but getting outside to stop the clock, which preserves precious time.
2 timeouts, 40 seconds. Barron has hit 48 and 50 this year from field goals range. So you need to get it to around the 35. Chapman on the scramble, takes it inside the 40-yard line. So you're nearing field goal range. Clock stops temporarily with the chains move at 31 seconds. Wilson makes the stop. San Diego State is going to use one of the 2 timeouts. So you have 1 left in case you need to get the field goal unit on at the end of the half.
Their second timeout of the half. 60 seconds in length. Game clock off.
So we will step aside with San Diego State driving, trying to take the lead before halftime in Laramie. Plenty of options here for San Diego State. You're basically 5 yards away from field goal range. I mean, Barron hit 50 versus UNLV. You're at 7,220 feet. The ball is going to travel a little bit more. The light wind is at their back. So, I mean, you're almost in field goal range now.
No doubt. And remember, San Diego State has had some success on wheel routes. Keep your eye on the running back there, old number 19. He's a pass receiving threat as well.
One timeout left for San Diego State. Chapman on second and short. Pressure. Chapman steps up, throws, almost picked. It's incomplete. Intended for Judge. Hull nearly had the interception on the outside. 3rd and 1.
Pass protection, surprisingly, has been one of the things that the Aztecs have struggled with, but a great job by Christian Chapman to stay alive. Now, the pass was a little errant, but he does save the sack, and that would have been the worst thing that can happen in a 2-minute situation. The Aztecs got lucky there, but credit Chapman and his legs that extended the play to give them this shot on 3rd down.
Give it to Pumphrey on 3rd and 1. Breaks it outside, has the first down inside the 30-yard line. Pumphrey gets out of bounds, and a late shake is going to take Pumphrey inside the 20-yard line. So easy field goal range now for Barron. 20 seconds, still a timeout, still a chance for a shot.
The Aztecs have 3 shots at the end zone here with only 1 timeout. You can't fall short of the sticks without getting a first down, because the clock will keep running. So look for them to go for the end zone or outside on the edges here, particularly on 1st and 2nd down. Maybe 3rd down you take a shot and give yourself a run option.
Here's Chapman on 1st and 10. Shot number 1 to the end zone is incomplete. That was intended for Richardson, the junior out of Florida, who has only 1 catch on the year. 16 seconds, time for another shot.
No question. And I think Micah Holder on a corner route. You've got David Wells at 6'5", 255 pounds. He has 17 catches on the year. You need guys that can go up against coverage and high point that football and come down with it. And again, number 19, I would expect Wyoming here to bring some pressure, which will take Pumphrey out of the route tree.
Chapman on 2nd down. Heavy pressure over the middle. That's complete. To the outside, it's Anderson. He's wrestled down inside the 5-yard line. Clock stops temporarily with 8 seconds as they move the chains. Anderson, with just his 5th catch of the season, sets up 1st and goal.
They're going to clock it, and that will give them 1 more shot at the end zone. That was the first catch in the last 3 games for Anderson, and it was a huge one.
Timeout, San Diego State, so they elect to use the final timeout prior to 1st and goal. And now the San Diego State sideline.
No timeout.
And now that gives them a chance to get up and spike it. And they've yet to run the clock. Timeout, Wyoming.
Craig Bohl ran down and called the timeout himself.
So they said timeout, San Diego State. Aztecs said, no, we don't want the timeout. Craig Bohl then calls a timeout, put that one up back up there for the Aztecs.
You see him, he's confused as to what's going on, doesn't know the situation, and very smartly calls a timeout to give his team a chance to settle down. Points are at a premium in this game. That was a heck of a call there by Craig Bohl after some confusion with what in fact happened there at the end.
And so now you have up there 1 timeout for San Diego State, 2 for Wyoming, 8 seconds, and critically for the Aztecs, you still have that timeout. So you can still run 1 more offensive play if you want on 1st and goal. Use the timeout to get the field goal unit out there.
And you said the key word, you can still run. They've struggled to run the football today for the most part, but Donnel Pumphrey excels down here in the red zone, particularly on the outside edges.
1st and goal, 8 seconds. Play action to Pumphrey. Chapman on the roll to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown with 1 second left in the half. Parker Houston holds it in to give San Diego State the lead at the end of the half and officially zeros on the clock. A perfectly executed 65-yard drive for San Diego State.
Christian Chapman coming up huge for his ball club there at the end. I love the play call off the play action to try and suck the linebackers up to get them out of the equation. Then Parker Houston, the true freshman from Sparks, Nevada, all his old teammates at Ed C. Reed High School jumping up and high-fiving, because that was a heck of a job of him going up and tight coverage getting that ball for the touchdown.
Barron on for the PAT. because of the kick out of bounds. San Diego State got it at the 35 with 1:14, and they used all 1:14 to get in the end zone to take the lead.
Parker Houston's going to be back here as Chapman's going to come out. You're going to see the play action, the effect that Pumphrey has, draws everybody to the left, and then Houston just comes across and drags on the backside, goes down and comes with a grateful hands catch and covers it up completely. And that's a heck of a job, and what a way for the Aztecs to finish this first half.
And Jenny is with Aztec head coach Rocky Long.
Coach, you said that Wyoming was going to be your toughest appointment in this league. Can you tell us what went through that last drive there?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think either team played very good defense the last two drives. They took it right down on us in about 5 plays and went 80 yards and scored. And then we were able to use a timeout or two and make some plays to get a score right at the end of the game. It's going to be like this all the rest of the way, too.
They have really been able to shut down your run game. What do you do to combat that in the second half?
You got to block them. I mean, it's as simple as blocking them. Obviously, they're defeating blocks and making tackles.
Always insightful. Thank you, Rocky.
San Diego State scores on the first play of the first half. The kickoff return touchdown by Penny. They score on the last play of the half and lead it 17-10. We'll send you to New York next with a Ram Trucks halftime report. San Diego State has won 17 straight against Mountain West Conference opponents, the longest conference winning streak in the nation. Our Geico difference makers, Donnel, Pumphrey. Here's how good these two running backs are. Pumphrey, 69 yards in the first half. That's good. Brian Hill, 73 yards in the first half. That's good. And yet, we show you Geico difference makers because the defenses have held those two top running backs in check. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell on the sideline. We got a 17-10 game.
There's been some good and some bad by both of these teams. The defense has got a little loose there at the end, but I love the way that Wyoming is trading punches with the Aztecs. Execution here in this second half will determine the outcome.
So the Aztecs still rushed for 131 yards in that first half, but Wyoming has mostly done the job.
Yeah, if you back out the 2 long runs by Pumphrey and Penny that were 24 and 39 yards respectively, Wyoming's only allowed 68 rush yards on 17 carries, which is 4 yards per carry. They're absolutely selling out to stop the run. But then there towards the end, the Aztecs put together a drive. Donnel Pumphrey showing you the speed to the outside. They got the ball inside the red zone. Nice job moving the football down the field, saving the touchdowns. And then just the 3rd catch of the year by Parker Houston was a huge one.
So our Bud Light game summary, you see those 131 rushing yards for San Diego State. Greg Bowles said they needed to be +2 turnover margin. At the half, Wyoming is -1. And San Diego State, a kickoff return for a touchdown, a perfectly executed 65-yard drive to close out the half. They have a 17-10 lead, kicking it off to Wyoming to begin the second half. Cowboys will have it at the 25 as we check in with Jenny.
Yeah, Carter, I checked in with Coach Bull, and he said he's actually really pleased with the way his team is playing, really impressed with his defense, but he said the kicking game needs to improve. He also said live by the sword, die by the sword. Really need to focus on that turnover margin. Now, some injuries to report. Number 53, the defensive end, Josiah Hill, is out with a concussion. And nose tackle, Chase Appleby, has a torn MCL.
Wow, those are both big, Jenny, because Hall and Appleby critical, especially Appleby. I mean, he's the only senior on the defensive line for Wyoming, and he's really the point of attack guy for the Cowboys.
I sat down on the field before the game and talked to Aztec O-line coach Mike Schmidt, and without question, he said Chase Appleby was the most concerning player that they had because of his quickness and ability to disrupt. He told me that they expected them to flex him off the line of scrimmage. That was a big part of why they had some success early. But now it's Wyoming's offense's turn to be able to try and get something going. Remember, the first half success were big passes downfield and running between the tackles.
Offsides penalty gives Wyoming the football at the 30, and San Diego State gets a stop behind the line of scrimmage back at the 28. So, I mean, for Wyoming, you look especially at the first couple of drives, productive, but only 3 points out of them. Interception, the lone touchdown on their last possession.
Yeah, their longest drive of the day ended with an interception and not a kick of either a field goal or an extra point. That's the one that hurt them. But the way they had that 7-play, 80-yard drive for the touchdown at the end of the second half has to encourage them.
Josh Allen, the sophomore quarterback, with Brian Hill, the nation's 4th leading rusher, with him in the backfield. And there's Hill completing. Tanner Gentry, the senior, makes the grab right near the first down. And in fact, they'll move the chains. 1st and 10 Wyoming.
That was a nice quick slant that time. I'm expecting to see some of this from San Diego State as well when they're on the offensive side of the ball. But we see that arm strength and accuracy by Josh Allen to move the sticks here after getting stuffed there on first down.
4 catches in the game for Gentry, who averages 18 yards a grab. Had a remarkable one last week, descended to overtime with UNLV. Hill picking his way on the left side, gets to near the 45-yard line.
I appreciate the way that Josh Allen is using play fakes to kind of sell some additions off the run game. That's holding some of those linebackers and preventing them from filling the gaps as hard downhill as they want. Play fakes a very important part of a quarterback's ability to help the run game go, and I think Allen's doing a nice job today.
Saw the note of those 8 completions, 6 for first downs. 2nd and 5 out of the eye. Play fake to Hill. So Allen chased, rolls out of the pocket, going to throw it downfield, incomplete. So Allen able to get rid of it. Henderson getting the pressure again on Josh Allen. It's been a great game for the junior linebacker, Jay Henderson.
San Diego State is so good getting after the quarterback. There's nowhere for him to go. There's some pressure, so he has to pull the ball down. They were trying to run some vertical route concepts, but when the pressure gets there, that's exactly how the front end can help your coverage on the back end, and Allen smartly has to throw the football away.
3rd and 5. Allen, there's a slant, complete, first down. Johnson has it as he takes it across the Aztec 45, and there's the quick passing game you were expecting.
Yeah, I'm noticing that San Diego State is playing a little bit of off coverage here. Here he is right here. He's going to run inside. There again is the true freshman, Ron Smith, with a nice healthy cushion, and Wyoming takes advantage of it.
Johnson had 10 catches all year, 3 in this game. Out of the eye again. Hill takes it on first down. Hill popped as he gets to the 40, and it's Parker Baldwin, the sophomore free safety, who makes the tackle on Brian Hill. San Diego State held Hill to just 70 yards last year on 20 carries. Huge win for San Diego State, 38-3. As we've documented, this is a totally different Wyoming team in 2016. Hill doesn't have to do nearly as much, but still, he's gone past what he had last year against the Aztec defense.
Yeah, and this is an offense that's young, only 4 seniors. Tanner Gentry's one of those. So in these situations, in tight ball games, guys are trying to figure out what it is they're trying to do. You see another nice run up there in the middle by Brian Hill, tackled that time by Calvin Munson, the leading tackler for the Aztecs that was trying to strip the football. It's interesting, he led the team in sacks a year ago with 9.5 and only 2.5 this year. They're using him a little bit differently, but he's still an effective playmaker in the heart and soul of that defense.
8th play of the drive for Wyoming. Fake the run. Allen's going to keep it and pick up a first down himself. That's been critical on both sides. Quarterbacks able to scramble for first downs.
Yeah, we were talking about that at halftime, and Josh Allen's ability to use his legs to extend drives is great. This is just a follow play, like a quarterback lead. He fakes the handoff, lets it set up, and just gets north and south vertically. And a nice job of that offensive line, once again taking advantage of the heart of that Aztec defense on the interior.
Wick is in the backfield now. See Hollister, the tight end, motion. They give him 2 backs. Play action. Quick pop pass to the outside. That's complete. Hollister inside the 25-yard line. The tight end and a favorite target of Josh Allen, like Jay Novacek was in his Wyoming Cowboy days.
Yeah, this is a levels route. Tight end's just going to come here, and he's going to hit him right away. Excuse me, it was out of the backfield. It was the levels route. The linebacker Munson goes up over the top. Allen makes the right read immediately And a missed tackle that time by the sure tackling Munson is a nice pickup there on first down. And a nice change of play call to throw a pass on first down. The previous 3 were runs.
Wick picks up the first down inside the 20-yard line. Cameron Kelly makes the stop. Solid drive for Wyoming, but just as they did in the first couple of drives of the first half, as they showed you, critical to come away with 7 here rather than the 3 that they settled for on the early drives of the first half.
I agree with you, partner. I think you have to trade punches here. Field goals aren't going to get it done. I look at a field goal and not getting a touchdown. That's the same thing when those 4 points disappear, is missing a field goal and an extra point. The red area is critical. So this is an important way to end the drive here for Wyoming to start the second half.
Longest drive for Wyoming. They're going to give it to Gentry on the handoff. Gentry trying to stretch it to the outside. He takes it to the 10. Laka finally makes the stop. And Gentry gets the handoff and looks like there is an injured Aztec down. It's Laka.
And some great blocking out there on the outside edge by the fullback, Drew Van Manen. But some good open field running. He sucked Zamonte Casey inside, who got caught up with the blocker on the edge. And old number 4 Gentry, another nice pickup on first down. That's exactly what you want to do, and a beautiful job of controlling the change with down and distance.
Laka able to pop back up quickly and make it back to the Aztec sideline out of the powerhouse Punahou High School in Hawaii. Austin Wyatt Thayer takes his place at linebacker. Wyoming has been excellent in the red zone on the season. 75% touchdown rate. Hill takes it on the left side, inside the 5. He stood up short of the goal line, but inside the 1. Casey finishes it off. First and goal, Wyoming.
That's just another G scheme again, pulling the play side guard away from the football. That's the exact play that he scored a touchdown at the end of the second half. They go right back to it. They don't get 6 this time, but it gets them on the 1-yard line with first and goal.
They'll mark it right at the 1. With Van Manen, the fullback, lined up in the eye ahead of Hill. First and goal. Hill on the left side, into the end zone. Touchdown, Wyoming. Second touchdown of the day for Brian Hill, 18th of his junior year, and a PAT away from tying it. A 13-play touchdown drive on the first possession of the half for Wyoming.
Keep your eye on the fullback, Drew Van Manen. Nice job right there at the point of attack, which springs Brian Hill. Van Manen had 2 beautiful blocks on that drive. Give him a lot of credit for Wyoming tying this ball game up.
Roth boots through the PAT, and Wyoming has tied it at 17. As Rocky Long told Jenny just before the half, it's going to be back and forth the whole way. Hill takes it in. Touchdown, Wyoming. Even again at 17.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Acura, precision crafted performance. By Phillips 66, proud to be here. And by the General Insurance. Get your anonymous online auto insurance quote now.
Joe Tiller in Wyoming. They beat San Diego State to win the WAC. Back in 1993, the Marshall Falk-led San Diego State team. Wyoming, that's the last time they won a conference championship. They shared that with BYU and Fresno State. They won it outright 1988 under Paul Roach. San Diego State won last year's Mountain West Conference championship game. Their first outright title since 1986 in the WAC. And Wyoming, Penny's going to take this one inside the 10. Penny across the 30-yard line. Correction, it's Washington who takes it. Across the 30, Washington inside the 10. Touchdown, San Diego State. A 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Jawan Washington brings it back. A 93-yarder from Penny. A 92-yarder from Jawan Washington. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns today for San Diego State.
People forget about the third phase of football. Only about 18% of the total snaps of an entire game, but San Diego State has done a beautiful job of making them count today.
Barron for the PAT. And a stunned, silent Wyoming fan base here at War Memorial Stadium after Wyoming drives down to tie it at 17. The Aztecs again up 24-17. On the opening kickoff, it was Rashaad Penny for the 5th time in his career. Kickoff return for a touchdown. And now Juwan Washington for the first kickoff return for a touchdown of his San Diego State career. And the Aztecs lead it 24-17.
Back where San Diego has taken advantage with 2 kick returns. At first it was Rashaad Penny early on in the ball game to start the game to give the Aztecs a 7-0 early victory with a huge kickoff return. And then it was the freshman Juwan Washington doing the same. A key missed tackle there by free safety Andrew Wingard. And it was many, many yards later to the house. Carter, the difference in this ball game today between these 2 old school teams that have been trading punches has been special teams.
So much so that San Diego State has almost as many return yards as they have in total offense. It's the first time in San Diego State history they have 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. Only the 2nd time it has happened in the FBS this year. Louisiana Tech the other. Well, coming up next, CBS Sports Network brings you college football from the American Athletic Conference with the USF. South Florida at SMU. That game presented by Geico. And then more from the Mountain West later tonight with Air Force against San Jose State. We take a look at the American Athletic Conference standings. It is still Navy controlling its destiny with a 5-1 record in the West.
And how about Houston? That impressive win on Thursday night against Louisville. May not be able to represent the New Year's Six. If Navy wins out, they won't even represent their division in the championship game. But what a season they've had, and what a great coaching job Tom Thurman's done.
Hill, the ball carrier, Wyatt Thayer took over for the injured Laka, although Jenny tells us from the sideline the Laka, the sophomore linebacker, should be back in the game for San Diego State. Taped the ankle, he should be good.
Remember, to start the game, Wyoming responded with a nice drive and a field goal. I think it's important that they get something going here and respond after the 2nd kickoff return for a touchdown they allowed.
Last time Cowboys had it, 13-play touchdown drive. Allen stepping up on 2nd and 9, scrambling again, eluding Aztec defenders. He's going to dive right around the first down, and Allen picks it up again on the scramble. Henderson finally makes a stop.
The Aztecs are being able to get home on short corners, forcing Josh Allen to step up inside the pocket. They run an X-stunt on the right side. The guard comes over late, but watch how he's got the football out here. He's got to be able to protect that in the contact zone in the open field. Remember, turnovers have been critical and very prevalent in their losses. You have to protect the football.
Play fake. Allen complete to the outside. That's Johnson again. Boy, the redshirt freshman from Nebraska is having a career day for Wyoming. He makes the grab to move it to the 47, 1st and 10.
So impressed with the arm strength of Josh Allen, man. This thing is on a frozen rope. Sets his feet and puts that ball on a dime, allowing Johnson to get the reception and move the chains.
4th catch for Johnson after he had 10 all year.
And that was on the Mountain West Conference's leading interceptor, DeMonte Casey.
Aztecs bring pressure up the middle on 1st down. Hill picking his way right at the 50. You know, worth noting on the score, this is a 7-point game. I mean,
no question.
San Diego State steals the momentum and the lead and quiets the crowd, but you're still midway through the 3rd. You see Laka back in there, but I mean, Wyoming, it's just a touchdown game, and they have the football chance to go tie it again.
Absolutely, Carter. You have to relax and execute here. We talked about it at the beginning of the 2nd half. You don't have to make the great play. You just have to eliminate the bad one and keep executing and moving the chains offensively. And keep doing what you're doing on the defensive side. If it weren't for 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, San Diego State would be down by 14. 7
Hill,
anyway.
Yep. Hill picks up a couple with Calvin Munson on the stop to bring up 3rd down for Wyoming. It is nearly silent here at War Memorial Stadium in a touchdown game.
Wyoming has the ball, so I'm glad their crowd isn't cheering necessarily, but you're right. That last kickoff return for a touchdown, it takes the emotion and all the mojo, which is a real part of football, right out of it, as we're seeing some tight coverage there at the top of the screen.
Allen, incomplete, intended for Hill on the screen. That's an incomplete pass. 4th down coming up. Wyoming punt unit coming out.
There is zero energy to continue your point, Carter. You talked about this being quiet, but there's no real sense of urgency. And you kind of get the feeling this is a critical moment in this ball game.
Ethan Wood to punt. Wes Truxton back to receive. A very short punt. It'll bounce at the, and fortunate for Wyoming, it takes a good cowboy roll. So inside the 15 where they'll down it with the Aztecs up by 7. San Diego State football.
Welcome back to War Memorial Stadium. It is 24-17 Aztecs. So you guys saw Donnel Pumphrey pass Tony Dorsett on the all-time career rushing list. So who is next? Ricky Williams. He's 160 pass yards away from passing Ricky Williams. And Williams told me he's incredibly impressed with Donnel's game, especially his toughness and durability. He said, it seems like bigger backs have been the most dominant in recent years. So to watch Pumphrey do what he's done at his size is mind-blowing. And guys, William told me it's about time coaches return to running the ball. It's great to see this generation of backs put up these kind of numbers.
Thanks, Jenny. A good word from Ricky. Remember, it was Ricky Williams breaking the record, and then the next year, Ron Dane moving past him. We haven't discussed yet the bowl numbers for Ron Dane. He'd add 728 more, but bottom line, the numbers are what they are. And Donnel Pumphrey, if he keeps up the trends, is going to roll right past the 2 that are still ahead of him. Pumphrey gets a couple here. Listed 5'9", 180 pounds, and that's why you get the respect of guys like Ricky Williams, much bigger backs. For them to look at Donnel Pumphrey and say, at his size, to do what he's done with San Diego State not running up any numbers, it's amazing.
Well, first of all, he's not 180. He's about 173
right.
soaking wet. But to your point, you're absolutely right. He runs behind his pads and with a physicality that belies his smaller stature.
On 2nd and 8, give it to Donnel. Pumphrey fumbles the football. Wyoming recovers. In a 7-point game, the Cowboys take over inside the San Diego State 20-yard line on the fumble by Donnel Pumphrey, his first lost fumble of the year.
And it was a costly one. Craig Bohl telling us how important it was to get some turnovers. Wyoming answers the ledger here. It's a clean handoff. Pumphrey just can't handle it. The ball comes free, and Wyoming has the football here in the middle of the 3rd quarter inside the red zone. That is the play that gets the energy back in this crowd and could very well get the Cowboys back into this game.
Waka gets the fumble recovery. It is only the 6th lost fumble of the year for San Diego State. Hill's going to take it on the left side on 1st and 10. Hill, forward progress gives him maybe a yard. It's Laka back in the game who stops Hill. And a little pushing and talking after the first down run by Hill.
Now remember, we started this game with 3 questions. Could San Diego State come on the road and execute and avoid the letdowns that they had against South Alabama on the road, which involved what we just saw there, turnovers?
San Diego State has won 19 of 20, the only loss in that stretch at South Alabama, who was falling apart in Sun Belt Conference play after beating San Diego State and Mississippi State. Allen, throwback, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Hollister. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Henderson gets the pressure on Allen again.
There's been a ton of pressure off that outside edge, and I've been impressed with Jay Henderson. He's listed as a backup, but clearly making an impression here today. And Malik Smith plays that warrior position. This defensive backfield among the best in the country. In fact, lead it in interceptions. They're physical and aggressive in the run game and have done a nice job for the most part in coverage today as well.
Wyoming, 2 out of 3 in red zone trips, scoring touchdowns. 3rd and 9 here. Allen Allen to the air, to the end zone, incomplete. He looked like he had Gentry as he takes the pop. Barrett delivers the blow on Allen. Kicking unit coming on.
Yeah, Barrett's going to loop around and just beat the left tackle. This ball had to come out fast, and it was there. Tanner Gentry was open. The ball was just thrown a little bit outside. That was a small window, but because of the pressure by the Aztecs, they save a touchdown and force the field goal after the untimely fumble by Pumphrey.
Roth has made 8 of his last 9, including from 32 earlier. This one from 34 is knuckling, but it sneaks in there. The field goal is good. So off the fumble by San Diego State, Wyoming turns it into a field goal. Pumphrey and the Aztecs still hanging on to the lead. 2013, final year before he made the move to Wyoming. This was the third of the 3 straight FCS championships. Wentz and Craig Bohl, the only other program that was won 3 straight FCS championships, coached by Jerry Moore, Appalachian State. Jerry Moore was the offensive coordinator at Nebraska when Craig Bohl played for the Cornhuskers. Squib kick, scooped up after the 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown. A change in strategy as Washington is dropped inside the 30-yard line. So, reminder of the Mountain West standings that even though Boise State is 6-1 with their win over UNLV, it is still Wyoming. If they win their last 2, who win the Mountain Division, they go to New Mexico, who has rallied in Mountain West Conference play, 5-1. Aztecs have already taken the West.
Boise State Bronco fans at home cheering for San Diego State, the team that they're hoping to face in the Mountain West Conference championship game. But Carter, this is only the 3rd offensive play of this second half for the Aztecs. The kickoff return to start, a couple drives from San Diego State, but the Cowboys have dominated the time of possession playing keep away. That could help them towards the end of this game if they need to run the football, because the Aztecs have been on the field a ton defensively.
Out of the eye, Donnel Pumphrey. Fumble last time he touched it. Takes it on 1st and 10. Pumphrey, minimal gain. Gets only a couple. As we've talked about this game, about the similarities between the programs, the head coaches, Rocky Long and Craig Bohl. Well, Rocky has deep ties to Laramie, Wyoming. Sister Jo lives here in Laramie. His late brother-in-law, Larry Corpett, was offensive coordinator for Joe Tiller here. And Rocky Long was the defensive coordinator here in Wyoming from 81 to 85. Look at, we love this picture.
Those steely blue eyes.
I mean,
it's like he'd be an extra from Chips, is what I said yesterday.
Chapman on 2nd down takes the sack. Wyoming getting after Christian Chapman to bring up 3rd and long.
There's just pressure from all sides. The pocket collapses. They found some short corners, but because of the X stunt inside, the movement there, Chapman has nowhere to go and to bail. And the Wyoming defensive line that is missing, Chase Appleby, their star stud up front, comes up huge here.
2nd sack of the day for Wyoming. 3rd and 11. With San Diego State, who has done next to nothing offensively in the second half.
Screen.
On the right side, Pumphrey has it. On the screen, gets back to the 30. That's it. Wyoming gets a 3-and-out stop on defense. They'll get the football back, down by 4.
Huge couple of series here for Wyoming. First, they take advantage of the fumble. They get a field goal, and then their defense, 3-and-out. Only 5 plays here in the second half for this offense. And there's our guy again, Lucas Walker, doing a nice job unblocked, running sideline to sideline, forcing the punt. Been impressed with this Wyoming defense. They've buckled up today.
Blaine hits it. Conway, who had a punt return for a touchdown last week, breaks it across the 37-yard line. There is a flag down near the 40-yard line.
Flag on the field. That's hard to believe. Coach Long was lobbying for one for 20 minutes.
Long discussion.
Coach Long gets caught with the flag.
sort out the flag.
During the kick, holding on the receiving team, number 9. 10-yard penalty, first down, Wyoming.
So Wyoming gets a football, down by 4. Oh, and did you know that this was Wyomania Day
No,
today?
I didn't.
Aaron, this is year 14, a gathering of Major League Baseball writers and scouts. Former Cowboy quarterback Art Howe couldn't be here this year. Art Howe usually comes, put together by Tracy Ringlesby, a Ford Frick Award winner. He's in Cooperstown, and the Baseball Hall of Fame. They have 3 Ford Frick Award winners with him here today. So it's when the baseball season ends. A lot of writers and scouts from all around the country here for Wyomania.
That was deep research. Where'd you learn that little fun fact?
We were drinking iced tea together last night.
A penalty was costly, backs them up, and that could show up in the field position game and allow San Diego State to flip this field.
Hill takes it on 1st and 10, pushing to near the 15. Hill's gone over 100 yards. It's only the 4th time in the last 12 games. Just the 2nd time in the last 22 games San Diego State has allowed a 100-yard rusher.
That offensive line getting things humming, and they've stuck with the run. Been some pretty predictable play calling on 1st down by Wyoming running the football. At some point, they've got to take a shot with play action, but if they don't connect, that puts them behind the chains, something they desperately wanted to avoid today.
Allen 2nd and 7 over the middle. That's complete. 1st down. Hollister, the tight end, the senior from Bend, Oregon, who was huge in the Boise State win, converts it for 1st down to the 25.
Yeah, here's Hollister right here. Excuse me. Here he is right here, going to come and just do a spot route right there and just settle down inside that zone. Good job getting up inside for the 1st down. He's a big-bodied, physical tight end. Nice wide receiving threat that can run after the catch as well.
1st downs, 21-8. And yet, San Diego State leads it by 4 as Hill takes it across the 30. And if you're just joining us, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, difference in the game. Why all the numbers are skewed to Wyoming, but the score is San Diego State.
But I think that turn. We were all over this, Carter. The energy had left this stadium. Wyoming now feels like they've got a chance to get themselves back in the game. This is a 2nd and medium situation. They've got to take some shots down the field, but they need to keep stringing some drives together and keep moving these chains.
Hill spins away from the first tackler, fighting to get near the 1st down. He's a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1. Casey and Baldwin make the stop on Brian Hill.
Nice job by Hill that time, keeping his legs driving. He was wrapped up by a couple Aztec defenders, but his 2nd effort gets him into a very 3rd down makeable situation. They run a sneak, and Allen, once again with his legs, picks up a 1st down.
24 seconds left in the 3rd. Wyoming had a 13-play, 70-yard touchdown drive to get it started on their first possession of the 3rd, and that's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So we go to the 4th as we expected. A tight game with Mountain West Conference Championship implications. Aztecs by 4 on the Cowboys as we go to the 4th. College football on CBS Sports Network from Laramie, Wyoming. We got a 4-point game on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Plays of the game. Opening kickoff, Rashaad Penny took it 93 yards for a kickoff return for a touchdown to get it started for San Diego State 7-0. And then Juwan Washington, another kickoff return for a touchdown. Amazing.
There's some controversy on the Aztec team about who's the fastest player. Rashaad Penny thinks it's him, but they both kind of pointed to Juwan Washington, thinking that he may be the fastest. But take a look at that. The kick return yardage just behind the yards from scrimmage. San Diego State in that 3rd quarter had 5 offensive touches.
One of them, the fumble by Donnel Pumphrey. They held him to a field goal off of that. First play of the fourth quarter. 1st and 10, handoff to Hill. Popped as soon as he grabs it. Good play by Dakota Turner, the junior defensive end, converted fullback, to make the tackle on Hill.
Sure was. Talk about shocking and shedding as a defensive lineman. Turner was a fullback earlier in the year. They brought him over, didn't really have the depth that they wanted on that side of the football, but after about the 3rd or 4th game, they decided to put him back on the defensive side, and he's had a much greater impact and really helped this team there, as we saw in that last play at the defensive line position.
Hill motions out on 2nd and 9. Allen must have been tipped, and it was. Incomplete, intended for Tanner Gentry. Like Turner got a hand on it there, so back-to-back plays for Dakota Turner.
Showing up big. There were double stunts by the defensive lineman that time. A stunt is a crisscrossing and an exchange of gap responsibilities. It's designed to create movement and make it hard for the offensive lineman to pick it up. Wyoming did a nice job there, but because they didn't get penetration up the field, Turner was able to get his hand up and get a pass break up to create a 3rd and long. Nice job.
8th play, they only have it at the 36, and it's 3rd and 9. Allen stepping up in the pocket, scrambling away, and he's dropped by DeMonte Casey. Looked like Casey came in at the last minute anticipating the run.
This was a great defensive play call and adjustment. Here's DeMonte Casey there. He's going to slow play this and come back and make the tackle on what's going to be a cornerback blitz. He sells it pretty good, but because right there he comes over and saves a 1st down, that was a heck of a job by this defensive backfield's leading player.
So Casey on the Cowboy.
Oh, check you out. Against the Cowboys.
Against the Cowboys. Truxton back to receive the punt. Takes it from inside the 15. Truxton shaking his way. Dives forward to the 19-yard line and may be lucky to get it there. Epps on the stop. Aztec football with a 4-point lead in the 4th. San Diego State's number 24 in the AP, but unranked in the college football playoff poll. Let's take a look at the college football playoff poll, powered by Ram Trucks, in the top 10. And the big note of the day so far, Ohio State surviving Michigan State.
Yeah, and I think the big question there that we're going to be forced to grapple with, or at least a committee, is will a 1-loss Pac-12 champion get in over a 2-loss champion, either from the Big Ten, or what happens with an Ohio State? If Michigan wins out, that's the easiest, clearest scenario. But in the event that Ohio State beats them and Penn State goes on and then Wisconsin beats them, can you keep a 1-loss non-Big Ten champion, Ohio State, with their resume, out if Wisconsin wins with 2 losses over a 1-loss Washington team that didn't look good? I think we're going to have Armageddon that happens down there towards the end in these last couple weeks.
Play fake, Chapman on the roll. It's Washington out of the backfield, who has it at the 40-yard line. Juwan Washington rolling inside the 35. The redshirt freshman with a breakout game here in Laramie. The kickoff return for a touchdown. And now Washington on the wheel route for 44.
They're going to bring him across in motion from this side and then bring him upside in the field. We thought we were going to see it earlier in the game with Donnel Pumphrey, but this is one of the more successful routes that San Diego State runs. Nobody picks him up. You have to at least have a one-on-one matchup. It's typically with a linebacker. This time, nobody accounts for Washington. That's the 2nd time this game he's been responsible for a huge gain.
From the 36, Rashaad Penny breaks it outside. Penny has room to run inside the 20-yard line. Shoved out inside the 15. Let's go. Wingard makes a stop, but Washington and Penny, that's a 24-yard gain.
Some great blocking out on this outside edge. Watch this seal block out here. Really nice job. And Penny does the rest to get to the outside. These are back-to-back big plays that are crushers for this Wyoming team that's done a really nice job so far, making San Diego State earn everything that they've got.
68 yards on the last 2 plays for the Aztecs.
Story of the first half as well.
Penny takes it again inside the 10. Rashaad Penny tripped up, and you see him frustrated as he gets to the 9 as Wingard makes a stop again.
Interesting that San Diego State is going to Rashaad Penny, who's 5'11", 220 pounds, a little bit more of a physical back. With his way, Wyoming has done a good job of getting to the ball carriers. They may want a little bit more power here those last couple plays, as we see Donnel Pumphrey back in the game where he excels down here in the red zone on the perimeter.
74 rushing yards in the game for Pumphrey. He's moved into third place all time. Play fake it to him. Chapman check down. That's complete. Inside the 10. Nick Bawden, the fullback, makes the grab. Third down coming up. And you see Chapman limping a little bit as he goes back to the huddle.
There was some heat on him that time and pressure. Again, it was an unblocked Lucas Walker who brought that pressure. I mean, Donnel Pumphrey, the only game he didn't have 100 yards so far this year was the first game of the year against New Hampshire. You think he'd have to show up and be a factor here as he's lined up here on the slot.
Left side of the formation in the slot for Pumphrey. Flag is down. Didn't get it off. Delay of game.
Oh, another costly penalty by the Aztecs.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12.
Completely changes the dynamics of your play sheet. This isn't a very big play sheet to begin with in the passing game for Jeff Horton's unit. But that costly penalty is crucial and significantly decreases your chances, and that's one that can be avoided. The Aztecs haven't had mental penalties today, but when they've had them, they've been costly.
If Wyoming can hold San Diego State to a field goal here, still a one-score game. Chapman on 3rd and 12. To the goal line. It is incomplete. Intended for Eric Judge on the outside. And it's knocked away by Antonio Hull. The sophomore has had a remarkable game for Wyoming at corner.
He certainly does. Great protection. Allows that ball to come, but Hull right there. Eric Judge not able to pick it down. He says, nuh-uh, not on my watch. Really nice stop that time by Wyoming, significantly aided by the self-inflicted wound of the Aztecs with the delay of game.
Forcing the field goal attempt for John Barron from 31. Good hold, and the 31-yarder is good. Tanner Blaine gets the hold down. Field goal for San Diego State, but Craig Bohl and the Cowboys get the football back, only down by 7 in the 4th. Let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A fan cam here from War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming, where they're showing up for a significant November game for the first time in years. A chance to win the Mountain Division and potentially host the Mountain West Conference Championship game here in Laramie. Pistol Pete, I mean, he has been dancing and grooving like Chris Ledoux, the great Wyoming-born country singer and rodeoer. Wyomania everywhere here at War Memorial Stadium. And as Craig Bohl had hoped, and as both coaches had anticipated, tightly played game into the 4th. 7-point game with Wyoming getting the football back.
If you're Wyoming, this is exactly what you wanted. I mean, San Diego State is already locked up the West Division and going to play in the conference championship game. You're a team that wants to do that. San Diego State is a team that your head coach said it's aspiring to be, and it's a 7-point game that's only that way because of 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Touchback, they'll get it at the 25, some pushing and shoving after the play. Officials, as they have all game, very good job of separating these 2 teams and keeping it clean. Well officiated game by David Alvarez and his crew. Chance for us to revisit the 3 questions we asked you at the beginning of this one.
Well, we thought Wyoming needed a quick start. Could they get something to happen early? Well, no. They gave up an opening kickoff for a touchdown. But the Aztecs avoiding the letdown like they had against South Alabama. Today, 6 penalties in crucial situations, a turnover, and only 33% on third down. And will the Cowboys win the turnover battle? They haven't so far, and they control that on both sides of the football. So it's important that the Cowboys protect it here on first down. A lot of first down rush calls. Let's see if they go back to that well.
One turnover for either side. Josh Allen handing off to Brian Hill. And sure enough, the Aztecs anticipating the run. Kelly on the stop. So in the Mountain Division, Boise State 6-1. They're ranked. The win over UNLV last night, but it's still Wyoming by virtue of their win over Boise State. They still have this game and then the trip to New Mexico against the Lobos, who have played much better in Mountain West Conference competition. But it's Wyoming who controls its own destiny. A chance to win an outright title for the first time since '88. Allen slips away from the pressure on second down. On the roll, he's going to heave it downfield, and it's caught. Hollister grabs it inside the 35. San Diego State thinks they have the football. Here's the discussion between Montgomery and Hollister. It's Mulhart, 83, who has it, and it's a 45-yard grab.
First down, Wyoming.
Mulhart a week ago had 4 catches for 44 yards. This play breaks down. He's just running a spot route, but it becomes a scramble drill. Here he is right here.
They're probably challenged. San Diego State has called their first timeout in the half.
David had his microphone a little early saying they'll probably challenge. But yeah, San Diego State takes a timeout, so we'll see if Rich Colin in the replay booth wants to take a look at this one to sort it out.
This was what I expected to see from Wyoming, was big pass plays. Now that was a broken play because of the pressure. And they're also, nope. Josh Allen's inbounds. Again, that arm strength throwing across his body. Look how far that ball is. The reason Mulhart's so wide open is because it was a scramble drill. And that means when the play breaks down because of pressure, the deep receivers come back to the football. The short receivers, which Mulhart was, go deep.
Timeout. We were paged by the replay booth prior to. The ruling on the field of a completed pass is under further review.
And the middle receivers mirror the quarterback. Tremendous arm strength. But does Mulhart hold on to this football? It looked like it was coming out. That might be an interception and a heck of a play by Kalen Montgomery. That last look we saw was a beautiful look. As he was falling backwards, you could see the ball separate from Mulhart. And I think that's just a great job of strong-arming that football away by Montgomery. That process right there, he clearly ends with the football, but that process started before Mulhart had fully hit the ground. This is the look that shows it really well. That ball's away from his body. It's going to have to be the timing, but I think because it started moving before he demonstrated and the completion was complete.
I mean, you could have 3 results on this play. You could have a Mulhart completion, which would be remarkable. You could have a takeaway by Montgomery, which would also be remarkable. Or they could say neither player had possession of the ball going to the ground firmly in its grasp, and it's incomplete. There's a lot to sort out. And step number 1, I think we've already seen from those replays, Allen was in bounds when he released it. That's step number 1. Now you go who had possession of the football. This is the first review of the game, and it is a huge one.
Yes, it is. I don't know if that football ever hit the ground, even when Montgomery was trying to take it.
And adding to the confusion, you had one official signal San Diego State ball, one official signal Wyoming ball. Here comes the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Not confirmed, but stands.
Wow. And that's a huge play and a backbreaker. And credit Wyoming, and particularly Josh Allen, for finding a way to leverage and utilize that arm strength. And what a route by Jake Mulhart. The play had broken down. And look at that. Coming into today's game, only 30 pass plays, or plays total, over 20-plus yards. There were 2 huge early for San Diego State, and that last one that we just saw, big plays are what keeping this Wyoming offense, an entire team in this football game.
Now, we talked about Allen as a gunslinger. He's thrown a pick on a play like that and throws that deep ball to Mulhart. So 1st and 10, Allen to throw again. Another deep shot. Mulhart again. He hauls it in. Touchdown, Wyoming. This one goes for 30. Allen to Mulhart on back-to-back plays to get Wyoming within a point. $75 yards in 2 plays. Allen to Mulhart.
This was the same route combination that they tried to get earlier, and Josh Allen missed the throw. But this time he doesn't, and the Cowboys offense responds beautifully to tie this football game up.
Ross PAT evens it at 27. Allen with a remarkable throw going out of bounds to keep the drive going. And then the touchdown pass to Mulhart, tied at 27 in Laramie.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Bud Light. Raise one to right now. And by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Over the Wyoming Cowboys, Laramie. Jake Mulhart didn't have a catch in the game. He grabs one for 45, and on the next play, Mulhart grabs the 30-yard touchdown grab. That's 2 catches, 75 yards. And Wyoming evens it at 27. Out the back of the end zone for a touchback. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Where here's Mulhart right here. He's just going to run a go route, but this route right here holds DeMonte Casey and his eyes. And because Casey is peeking into the backfield, he gets beat right here, which allows Mulhart to go. Now keep an eye, that ball is thrown from the 38-yard line from the far right hash on a frozen rope. That is outstanding confidence and physical ability by the quarterback, Josh Allen, for that touchdown.
Those are back-to-back huge throws by Allen. You played with the ultimate gunslinger, Mr. Favre, with the Packers, and I know Allen has some of the same. Not saying he's Brett Favre.
The good and bad, right, for sure.
Not saying he's Brett Favre, but there's some similarities.
Man, and I watched Ford do some amazing things. Sometimes it was great like that. Other times he threw across his body and threw an interception like we saw Allen do here earlier in this game.
Washington with a burst across the 35-yard line. Juwan Washington having his career game as an Aztec as he breaks it out to the 39. Epps on the stop.
San Diego State now attacking the perimeter with speed. You got to give Rocky Long credit. They have a stable of running backs that they slowly bring along, and every single year there's a primary guy that's outstanding, and his backups it's pretty good. And moving forward next year, it's going to be Rashaad Penny as a leading running back with a nice job at Juwan Washington being his backup.
They'll give it to Penny on the end around. Rashaad Penny takes it inside the 45, shoved out at the 50. We check in with Brent in New York.
Guys, good one to the Pac-12. Seppo Lufau for Colorado. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. The Buffs, as they start the 4th, lead Washington State 28-24.
And that's another former Mountain West Conference coach who was doing big things with the Colorado Buffaloes. Mike McIntyre came from San Jose State, building that program, and remarkable that Colorado is in the top 10 again. High backfield, 1st and 10. Give it to Pumphrey again. Stop for a gain of only 2. Wingard, the sophomore free safety, makes the stop. So it has been Penny and Washington with the explosive plays today for San Diego State. Pumphrey's gotten his yards. Going to be another solid game for Pumphrey, but it's been Penny and Washington, who have been huge.
Wyoming selling out to stop the run. They're loading the box, and that's why the 2 plays prior to that, we saw them have some success out on the perimeter. They run up into the middle of the teeth of that defense. They got stopped. Going to be interesting to see here what this 2nd and long call is.
Only 76 rushing yards for Pumphrey. Averages 178. Chapman to the air. It is bobbled and incomplete. Off the hands of Truxton to make it 3rd and 8. Epps in coverage.
We saw Truxton catch another corner route earlier on in the ball game and do a nice job of it. This is a ball that's got to be able to get caught. Good tight coverage that time by the safety, Marcus Epps. But you see the frustration of Chapman. He knows on the road with what's at stake, that's a ball they have to catch.
Critical 3rd down, although the Aztecs will play for 4th down in this field position as well.
Expect a very safe, conservative play call here. Keep your eye on the guy that just went in motion, Pumphrey.
All-out blitz from the Cowboys. Chapman takes a sack back at the 40-yard line. Wingard brings him down, and the Cowboys with a 3rd down sack. They'll get the football in a tie game with under 8 to go in the 4th.
Great job by Steve Stannard. They're going to bring the linebacker here and then bring Wingard all the way from back there, Wingard. And there's just one more than San Diego State can block. That's a gotcha and a huge sack on 3rd down. The Cowboys are humming.
Blaine hits it at the 35. Conway fields it inside the 15-yard line. He is wrapped up by the Aztecs at the 15-yard line. So Wyoming has 85 yards to go from the end zone, but the sack on Chapman on the sellout blitz gives the Cowboys the football in a tie game at 27. 7:21 to go. Wyoming has a chance to snap the nation's longest conference winning streak and set themselves up in the Mountain West Conference Mountain Division. So Wyoming, you win the last 2 games, you play for the Mountain West Conference Championship, likely here in Laramie. Boise State, meanwhile, needs to win their last game at Air Force. That's next Friday. We'll be there, CBS Sports Network. Need a Wyoming loss. New Mexico, and remember, Wyoming goes to New Mexico next week. So the Lobos need to win their last 2, plus a Boise State loss. But wrap it up for the Cowboys. They control their own destiny. So you have huge goals ahead for Wyoming football in 2016, and you have the football in the tie game in the 4th quarter against San Diego State, who has won 17 straight against Mountain West Conference opponents, 19 of 20 overall. Only Alabama has a better run in the last 20 games than San Diego State. Allen 1st and 10. Hill pushing to across the 20-yard line. Well, big plays both ways, but went Wyoming's way on the last possession.
That was a huge mixed sack that time by Alex Barrett that allows Allen to get free, and then Mulhart running the scramble drill to perfection, gets behind the defense, comes up with the catch, the call stands, and then the straight go route on the frozen rope ties this ball game up. Now, what was interesting, when we talked to head coach Craig Bohl during this week getting ready for the game, Carter, we talked about the physical nature of football and how they're old school.
A play action incomplete, 3rd and 5.
He said at the end of the day, football is a physical game. And if you can play the trump card of physicality, there is no antidote for that. With 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in a tie ball game, Wyoming's going to have its opportunity to see if it has just what the doctor ordered to play that trump card and control this line of scrimmage and score a touchdown here in the 4th quarter.
Well, that opportunity is right here on 3rd and 5. And motion, oh my goodness, what a critical penalty by Noble Hall. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
You know, it was interesting. I was watching this D-line warm up pregame, and both Noble Hall and Sergio Phillips bit on the hard count when their coach was trying to get them to watch the football.
Defense, number 95 with contact. The penalty yards results in a 1st down.
We talked about penalties being a problem all season long for San Diego State. That was only their 7th of the day, but again, in a costly situation. Too many times in the red zone, too many times on 3rd down. They just helped out Wyoming tremendously right there.
1st and 10 now from the 25. The tight end Hollister goes in motion. Hill takes it again on 1st and 10. Driving the pile to the 29, close to the 30.
Wow.
Second effort, he's going to keep it rolling to the 30. Malik Smith finally finishes it off, but it's a tough 5 yards for Brian Hill.
There's that physicality in that element. I mean, that's the hallmark of what Craig Bohl wants to create for his team. That was a 3-yard run with 2 extra yards because of Brian Hill's effort.
125 rushing yards in the game on 29 carries for Hill. Allen out of the eye, play action. Josh Allen downfield, another deep shot, and it's incomplete, just overshooting Tanner Gentry.
I love the play call of getting aggressive and taking a deep shot on 2nd and medium. Full turn protection, great pocket, steps up in. That's a beautifully thrown ball, and about the only place he could have thrown it, because DeMonte Casey runs right up underneath it. And Ron Smith, the other corner, coming over to help out at the end.
Here we are at 3rd and 5 again. Last time Noble Hall jumped off sides to give the Wyoming Cowboys a 1st down.
I'd hard count them again.
Hold on this time. Allen design run, keeps it for a 1st down. Across the 40-yard line. Cowboys move the chains again.
This is going to be a power with a fake toss that takes the linebackers outside. And once again, they're going to pull here. He's going to fake like he's going to toss. That's going to bring him here. And then Allen's just going to use his legs once again on 3rd down to get up to the next level and move the chains. Beautiful play call and execution, both blocking and the fake by Allen for the 1st down.
A drive that has the potential to be an all-timer for Wyoming. Started at the 15, give it to Wick on the outside. So Sean Wick rolling to the 47, close to the 48-yard line. Wyoming has been able to move it against this San Diego State defense that is, by any measure, one of the nation's best, giving up just 15 points per game, 7th in the nation. A rushing touchdown by Wyoming, just the 5th rushing touchdown allowed this year. 4:35 today against Rocky Long's Aztec D. He's the defensive coordinator as well.
Only giving up 86 yards a game rushing coming into today's game. The 2nd best run defense in the country. And they're getting pushed around.
Now, it's been pointed out, San Diego State doesn't have a win against a team with a winning record. So, I mean, the numbers are great for San Diego State, but as Rocky Long said all week, this is going to be the toughest football game that we play this year. And with 4:30 and a tie game, 27, that's exactly what the Aztecs are getting here in Laramie.
Now remember, because this game is tied up, a field goal wins this game. Last week, Cooper Roth hit a 46-yarder, which means the goal for Wyoming is to get to the 29-yard line.
Allen keeper on 3rd down. He stopped short. So 4th down and 1 coming up.
What do you do?
Offense is going to stay on the field for Wyoming.
I love it.
Win for it, 4th down in the first half and got it. Now 4th and 1. Allen, keeper again, pushing. It is close, but it appears that Allen has a 1st down, and it's official. 1st and 10 Wyoming. They've gone for 4th down just 8 times all year. Twice today, they've converted both.
Just a great job by Allen keeping his legs driving. He's going to get hit from this right side by Jay Henderson that knocks him over. That last little pot by Ronley Lakalaka, and Jay Henderson knocks him forward for the 1st down.
11th play of this drive for Wyoming coming. They started at the 15. Was 7 minutes, 21 seconds left in the 4th. They've moved it across midfield. We don't, Alvarez didn't turn on his mic. Now here we go.
The previous play is under review. The ruling on the field is that the line to gain is made by the runner.
Ooh, so back to the replay booth. And again, that's Rich Colin buzzing down saying, hey, I want to take a further look at this.
Great surge and push up front. He's moving there.
It's the second effort, so the only way that he stopped short is if
progress.
Well, if he's forward progress or if he's down. But clearly on the second effort, Allen has it.
No, he's on top of bodies. There's no way he's down. So the only thing they could say would be forward progress, but I didn't hear a whistle. I think it's that extra hit there at the very end, again by Jay Henderson and Ronley Laka, ironically coming from the side, that gives momentum enough to Josh Allen to pick up that first down. There's nothing I saw there where this is going to get overturned.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Wyoming.
Well, we give credit to the officiating crew. It was a quick review as well. I mean, you want to keep the momentum exactly where it is in the football game with 3:29. So they review it quickly, call confirmed. 3 minutes, 29 seconds. Craig Bull, I mean, there is no doubt. They're leaving it out there for Wyoming. 4th down in the first half converted. 4th and 1 midfield, go for it again. They pick it up. And now Josh Allen, the redshirt sophomore quarterback. With one of the nation's top running backs, Brian Hill, with him in the backfield. 1st and 10. Hill going to toss it to the outside. Conway, that's a backwards pass. Looked like Conway wanted to throw it, but he couldn't hang on to it cleanly, so he just falls on it for the loss on what was a trick play set up for Conway to throw it.
Yeah, it was going to be a double pass, and you're absolutely right, Carter. Great eyes. That was a lateral, so that's a fumble at that point. Conway just took his eyes off the football, too excited. Wants to throw the football downfield, does secure it, but the rush and the pursuit by San Diego State gets him down. I don't like that call at all. You've been doing a great job. Now you're behind the chains, the very thing you were trying to avoid because you tried to get cute.
Loss of 6. Allen completes it back to the original line of scrimmage. That's Mulhart again. But because of the loss of 6 on first down, now you're in 3rd and long.
Earlier in the game, San Diego State had found some soft edges in a matchup they liked. To their defensive left, the offensive right. Let's see if they go dial up some pressure here. I got to say, Josh Allen's been pretty good when he's been under duress.
A first down for Wyoming would put them in Cooper Roth's field goal range. 3rd and 8. Here's Allen. Stepping up, chased. Allen on the scramble has another first down. Out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Allen escapes the pressure from Laka for a critical first down as the Wyoming drive continues.
San Diego State rushes 4 and runs some stunts, so they get out of the rush lanes. B-gap is wide open, the space between the guard and the tackle. And once again, Josh Allen's ability to extend plays and run the football moves the chains and moves them into field goal range.
From right here, it would be a 50-yarder with the wind at elevation. So with less than 2 minutes, Wyoming play fake. Here's the shot. Allen to the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Gentry, who nearly hauled it in to give Wyoming the lead.
We saw Tanner Gentry a week ago make an exceptional one-handed catch to give his team a chance to win that ball game at the end. That ball is on the money and has to be caught. A huge drop on senior day by the senior Tanner Gentry. Got to make it. But they've still got 3 extra downs here to try and make something happen. That was wide open.
2nd and 10. Give it to Hill on the inside, picking his way inside the 30-yard line. Hill takes it to the 28. Baldwin stops him. 3rd down coming up. The freshman kicker, his career long was 46. That was last week against UNLV in the triple overtime game. Made from 32 and 34. This would be a 45-yarder from here. But again, he has the wind. You have the significant elevation. This is well within his range.
Do they go back to quarterback lead?
Allen on 3rd and 6 on the roll. Deep shot to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Johnson holds it in, but there is a flag down. A 29-yard touchdown pass to give Wyoming the lead. with 1:07, and here's the critical call.
It's going to be defensive holding or pass interference on the Aztecs.
Holding, defense, number 12.
Cowboys on top with 1:07 left. Just the second touchdown catch of C.J. Johnson's Wyoming career, and it gives the Cowboys the lead. The PAT from Roth is good. Wyoming by 7 with 1:07 left in Laramie.
Here's C.J. Johnson right here. He's going to eat up the cushion and then come over on a slant. Malik Smith's right here. You'll see him get a hold, but keep your eye on the slot. Number 14, C.J. Johnson, just eats up the cushion and throwing off his back foot away once again. Josh Allen with that tremendous gun falling away. I can't tell you how impressive of a throw that is. Is it risky? Yes. Is he a gunslinger? Yes. But guess what? He hit the target on the money and gives his team a 7-point lead for a game they have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive to make it to the championship game.
And San Diego State, a chance at a spot in a New Year's Six Bowl as a Group of 5 champion. 17 straight wins versus conference opponents. They will have to rally with 1:07. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in this game for San Diego State. So Cooper Roth kicking it off after an epic drive for Wyoming. 15 plays, 85 yards, 6 minutes, 14 seconds. For Craig Bohl and the Cowboys, chance for win number 8 to go to 6-1 in the Mountain West. Penny bobbles it at the goal line, scoops it up. Rashaad Penny brings it out to the 21. The kick return game, which has been the difference for San Diego State. Bobble there. So here's the 17 straight wins for San Diego State over conference opponents, longest in the nation. And with a minute left, it's Wyoming by a touchdown. David Alvarez says they're going to take a look at that last play, Penny at the goal line,
to see if Rashaad Penny's knee was down, and I think it might have been. He bobbled that ball and then stopped.
There's the bobble. Does he possess it with the knee on the ground?
Man, that is close. I think that play's coming back, Carter. And that would be a crusher for the Aztecs. He touches that ball, I think it's down. He's got the one hand on it. The other hand comes over the second his knee comes up off the ground.
It's the critical question is, does he have possession of the football while the knee is on the ground? So he touches it there. One hand, like you said. Now, where does he gain possession? And is the knee still down at the 1?
To me, it's simultaneous. The knee comes out as the second hand touches it. That last look in slow motion, it looks like the ball comes up off the ground after the right knee came up off as well.
Either way, whether that's down to the 1 or down to the 20, for San Diego State, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. With 1:07, a special teams mistake in the kick return game to jeopardize the opportunity for a touchdown drive for the Aztecs. What a moment this would be for Wyoming football. 6 wins the last 2 years. They have 7 under Craig Bohl. This would be their best start since they went 8-2 to begin the 1998 season. Last time they won a conference title, that was back in the WAC. Well, either way, whether it's at the 1 or whether it's at the 20, San Diego State has a tall task with a minute left.
Craig Bohl told us on the call that he thought his players were humbled a week ago. He said when you have experienced players when they don't play well, they typically respond well the next week. He was really impressed with the way the practice went. He is not surprised at all that his team has played the way that they have today. And I think that ball is going to be at the 1-yard line, meaning San Diego State would have to go 99 yards to score a touchdown.
Which is basically what Wyoming did last week to send it to overtime.
After further review, the runner, with his knee on the ground, controlled the ball at the 1-yard line. Therefore, a defender takes ball at the 1-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 7 seconds. 1:07. Thank you.
Craig Bowl in Wyoming knows this game is far from over because that's exactly what they did last week with no timeouts to send it to overtime in Las Vegas. Now San Diego State, 99 yards, 1 minute, 3 timeouts. They're going to reset it with a minute 7, 1st and 10 from their own 1.
San Diego State, you got to push the ball vertically. You got to give yourself some breathing room here. Wyoming can afford to be a little bit aggressive, but not too much so that they get beat over the top. Defensively, keep everything inside of you and in front of you here. It's okay if they'll gain some yardage. That's not the problem. You don't want to give up big plays and chunk yards.
Position will be by the near hash.
Still at the 1. Remember, San Diego State has already clinched the West Division, so they will play in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. This game could go a long way in determining where that game is played, potentially back here in Laramie, Wyoming.
And this significantly affects whether or not Boise State is alive in their chances to play in the conference championship game representing the Mountain.
Chapman out of the end zone. Complete. It's Pumphrey. He takes it across the 20-yard line. Donnel Pumphrey gets it to the 27, out of bounds. The play took only 9 seconds. Still 3 timeouts for San Diego State.
You have to isolate the best players. It's just a Texas route where he comes out and angles back in one-on-one with the linebacker. That's the matchup that you want. Very nice play call and execution by the offensive coordinator, Jeff Horton, on that last one.
27 yards in 9 seconds. Chapman scrambles, he'll take the sack. Aztecs will be forced to use a timeout. Prosser gets the sack as Chapman is dropped at the 27-yard line. Still 2 timeouts for the Aztecs.
Prosser's at the top of your screen, working over left tackle Quade Miller. Nice move inside. Miller, with that big cast on his right hand, can't get the punch that he needs to be able to get the pass set. And Wyoming's on the road, alive, 53 seconds away from a program to...
San Diego State needs 77 yards in 53 seconds. 2 timeouts left after Wyoming went on a 15-play, 85-yard drive, consuming over 6 minutes. Now the Aztecs need maximum offensive efficiency.
They absolutely do. A sack is the worst thing that could have happened to them there. They cannot allow that to happen again. So look for Wyoming to try and pin its ears back and make life miserable for Christian Chapman.
Chapman stepping up. It's Pumphrey again on 2nd down. More room to run for Donnel Pumphrey. Running away from the Wyoming defense, out of bounds. 1st down at the 39-yard line.
That's the same exact play that they ran before, a Texas route where Pumphrey comes out of the backfield to the right and then angles back in. It puts him in underneath coverage on Lucas Waka, and that's a mismatch, and it's a catch and run situation once again that proves fruitful for the Aztecs.
Pumphrey's had a less than stellar rushing day, only 76 yards, but in the pass game, giving the Aztecs a chance. 1st and 10. Chapman over the middle, bobbled and incomplete. It was behind a holder on another crossing route.
You got to be careful over those middle crossing routes when that ball gets bobbled and goes up into the air. Interceptions can easily happen when that occurs.
40 seconds.
Now remember, the Aztecs have to score a touchdown, so the clock is a factor. Their entire playbook is open. They've got 2 timeouts, but they need to get some chunk yardage plays here. if they're going to hope to get a touchdown.
Chapman on 2nd and 10 to the air. It's complete. Wells has it. The tight end rolling inside the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Diving out of bounds inside the 35 with 29 seconds. The Aztecs have it at the Wyoming 34.
That's the exact type of play we were talking about. David Wells, 6'5", 255 pounds. 1, 2, 3 missed tackles by Wyoming. 4 missed tackles, and Wells not only gets the huge pickup, he gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
A 28-yard gain, and Jeff Horton has options. 2 timeouts, 29 seconds. Can the Aztecs answer the Cowboys' touchdown drive? Chapman, Pumphrey again over the middle. Dragged down at the 31. Timeout quickly called with 23 seconds. So Wyoming with a touchdown lead. It's been 17 straight wins versus conference opponents for San Diego State. That last Mountain West Conference loss, you go back to November of 2014. Jay Ajayi into the end zone for Boise State. A game that was 9 degrees at kickoff, and it was Ajayi with 3 rushing touchdowns. That is the last time that San Diego State has lost against a Mountain West Conference opponent. Aztecs will play in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. The question is, who is their opponent from the Mountain? Wyoming controls its own destiny. They win their last 2 against San Diego State and at New Mexico. It'll be these same 2 teams for the Mountain West Conference Championship.
The beautiful irony here is that Craig Bohl looks up to Rocky Long, and early on when they played him a year ago, Rocky walked out to the field and said, hey, you know what to do. Don't change who you are. People wanted me to do this and that. Stay true to who you are. Be who you are. Create that old school program. That's exactly what he's done. And this might be a case, unless San Diego State can find a way to get this win, where the student takes on the teacher in year 2 and gets it done.
From the 31 on 2nd down, Chapman pressured again. He's scrambling. He's dropped short of the first down. 17 seconds. San Diego State forced to use its final timeout with 16 seconds. You'll have 3rd down coming up. No timeouts left.
Just 2 high safeties there. Want to keep everything inside and in front. There was nowhere for him to go, so Chapman smartly pulled the football, took off and got downfield vertically, and it was Gaffon there with the tackle that forces the Aztecs here to use their last play. Now with 16 seconds, you can run 1 play and clock it, but you've got to get a first down, or you've got 2 opportunities, so you don't have to get the first down. But ideally, if you're the Aztecs, you want to work the edges, get the first down, and get out of bounds so that you have the most advantageous situation to push the ball into the end zone. Without any timeouts, you can't get tackled in bounds.
You pick up that first, clock will stop temporarily to move the chains. 16 seconds, San Diego State out of timeouts.
And this is especially crucial where the Aztecs cannot take a sack.
Chapman has 3rd and 4. Pumphrey with him in the backfield. Chapman going to scramble, toss it ahead. Pumphrey has it. He has the first down. Clock will stop with 9 seconds. They'll have to hurry to the line, spike it as soon as it's set. Chapman getting everybody set. Chapman spikes it. The clock never rolled. There's 9 seconds.
There we go. The officials are on it. They got it.
As soon as the ball is marked ready for play, the clock should start rolling. It doesn't. 1 second subtracted. So 8 seconds up there. That could still be a break. That could have been 2 or 3 seconds off if it had been rolling properly. So 8 seconds, no timeouts. San Diego State has it at the 23.
This is the opposite of home cooking. That play clock didn't move at all. Remember, we had some issues earlier in the game where they were asking for 4 seconds to be put on the clock in the first half.
They finally changed it to 8 seconds. No timeouts for San Diego State. What could be the final play? Chapman steps up. Chapman to the end zone. It is... It's incomplete. There's 1 second. I had to wait to see what the call was. It's incomplete, 1 second, intended for Judge, with Hull and Wingert there in coverage.
I agree with you, partner. The officials were a little slow in indicating what the result of that play was. Eric Judge went up to get the football, but it was Hull and Wingert in double coverage.
Wyoming's going to take a timeout prior to the last snap of the game with 1 second.
Wyoming stalled their first time out of the half.
Pretty clear what you got here.
There's no question. It's an end zone shot.
Seconds in length.
It's a 7-point game, 1 second. So the question is, where do you go with the football on a play that will determine the game?
Well, I think in a situation like this, you have to consider not only the personnel, but the play call. We've seen David Wells, who's 6'5", go up and get some footballs. We saw Parker Houston, a tight end, make some great plays today. This has to be an end zone shot. This isn't an offense that has the receiving personnel to be able to run great routes and get themselves open. It's almost a mini Hail Mary situation here for San Diego State. And I think they've got to run trips and give 2 or 3 guys an opportunity to catch to give themselves an opportunity to get in this end zone. And if you're Wyoming, man, you got to play smart. You can't get a penalty on the last play of the game, but you got to be aggressive when that ball goes in the air because you have equal rights and opportunities to it. But this is a big old play right here, buddy.
A drive for San Diego State that started at their own 1-yard line with 1:07 remaining. Another Wyoming timeout.
30 seconds in length.
So 1 timeout left for Wyoming before the final play of the game. We're already going to tell you that our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast player of the game is Josh Allen. And you like the rushing, keeping so many drives alive, including the last one.
No question. He all day long, 3rd and longs, 3rd and shorts, 3rd and mediums, whatever it was, whether it was scrambling or designed runs, he made plays with his feet.
The USF at SMU game is underway. Now available at cbssports.com/live. We'll get you out there as soon as this one is over.
Great job that last time of Craig Bohl calling a timeout so that he could see the offensive formation that San Diego State was going to use so that he could coach his defense up one last time.
1 second, 1 snap. San Diego State needs a touchdown. Chapman. Pressured, heaves it to the end zone, jump ball, anybody's ball, and it is incomplete, out of the hands of Truxton. He had a chance in the end zone, but it's incomplete, and Wyoming wins it 34-27 to snap San Diego State's 17-game winning streak in Mountain West Conference play. If the call stands.
The previous play of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Truxton indicated that he thought he caught that football and maybe it got ripped out late. And the officials were convinced enough to take a look at it. I'm glad they are because this is a hugely important play, the most important in this ball game. Oh my gosh.
And he may hold.
Oh my gosh.
That may be the difference.
Oh my gosh.
That may be the difference. The last little push as Truxton comes down.
He's got possession of that football. His hand's even underneath it. It never touches the ground. He comes to a rest. But to your point, it gets knocked out there very late.
Logan Wilson knocks it out late. That could be the difference in whether that's a catch or not. Yes, the ball touches the ground as Truxton comes down with it, but he appears to maintain control. The ball can move as it touches the ground as long as you maintain control.
Absolutely, but I don't think the ball touches the ground. I think his right hand, look at that, is underneath it. It never touches the ground. He comes to a stop. He has possession. He's moving his arm like a chicken wing, but he possesses this football completely. and he's down on the ground. The ball's not moving free until right there where he's after his motion stopped.
So here's what the rule book says. Player has control of the ball. A slight movement of the ball, even if it touches the ground, will not be considered loss of possession. He must lose control of the ball in order for there to be a loss of possession. When in question, the catch is not completed.
And remember, the call on the field is incompletion. Will the replay officials believe that they see enough there to overturn the call on the field?
And this is all up to the replay official, Rich Colin. So it's not going back to a conference office. This is the sole discretion of the replay booth. And with the nation's longest conference winning streak on the line, Wyoming's advantage in the Mountain Division on the line, it comes down to this call.
If San Diego State possesses this football, they're an extra point away from tying this up and sending it to overtime. So both teams have to get their mental mindset right here for any potential outcome. This is a very difficult situation for both of these coaching staffs.
Or a 2-point conversion for the win.
No way. We know how that worked out for Michigan State earlier.
Zeros on the clock. And this is such a similar scenario for Wyoming. Last week, they take the ball with no timeouts down the field on UNLV. The touchdown grab by Gentry in that game went to review because he was out of bounds, came back in. They said that he was forced out, so the touchdown stands. But this is back-to-back games at the end of the fourth quarter that have come down to dramatic drives, dramatic touchdowns, and now a dramatic anticipation of the call.
I think the key differentiator here is, when did the play come to a stop? Did Truxtun possess and maintain possession when the ball was cradled up? If the play's over there, then it's going to be overturned. If they rule that he was still moving and the arm movement, the chicken wing flipper, was still part of the initial play, then I think the call will stand and be confirmed as it was on the field.
Request Truxtun. This would be his 9th catch of the year, 3rd for a touchdown.
It's not a bad ratio.
No. This is building the drama for this call. Again, the call is incomplete.
The play's over there, it's a catch. If they rule that the continued motion was part of the initial reception, then it's going to stand. But his hand is underneath it. The ball never touches. That right hand of Truxtun has his hand underneath it. That looks like a touchdown to me, man.
And it is as close as you can get between touchdown and incomplete pass. The call on the field is incomplete pass. Touchdown, 6. If it is a touchdown, San Diego State is starting to celebrate on their sideline and get ready for the conversion scenario. We still don't have an official call.
Wyoming.
But San Diego State's setting up as if they think this is going to be overturned for a touchdown.
And this is why I'm saying it's so important to be prepared mentally for any outcome.
Here's the call.
After further review, the receiver going to the ground, maintained possession on the ground. Then the defender reached in and knocked the ball out. Therefore, we have a touchdown for San Diego State.
And we play on in Laramie with the Mountain West Conference Championship scenarios all still in play.
The Cowboys are stunned. Rocky Long smirks because he knows his team's still alive. And here comes the offense. They're going for 2.
San Diego State, with no time on the clock, will go for a 2-point conversion and the win. In a one-point game, you have Chapman under center, Donnel, Pumphrey with him in the backfield.
San Diego State loves to utilize the tight ends off play action down here.
Two-point conversion attempt to decide the game. Chapman, throwback. It's Bawden, and it's incomplete. Wyoming wins. Knocked away by Hull. And now Wyoming celebrates the win over San Diego State to snap the nation's longest conference winning streak. And the Cowboys atop the mountain in the Mountain West. A thriller in Laramie as Wyoming goes 15 plays to take the lead on a touchdown. San Diego State with no time left makes it a one-point game. But it's Antonio Hull who knocks away the two-point conversion attempt, and Wyoming goes to 8-3 on the year, 6-1 in the Mountain West Conference, atop the Mountain Division.
San Diego State likes to use play action. They like to hit tight ends, but they tried to sneak Nick Bawden, the former quarterback, converted to a fullback out of the backfield. And once again, it looked like pretty good coverage by Antonio Hull that knocks it away.
And in the midst of that Wyoming celebration, here's Jenny Dell.
Coach, coming into this game, the Aztecs had the longest conference win streak in the country, and your team just beat them. What does this moment feel like?
Great win. We're excited for our program. I'm having a hard time hearing. Love these fans and go Wyo.
Thank you, Coach.
Right back to the celebration for Craig Bull. And Wyoming's chance at a conference championship and an outright title for the first time in 28 years remain alive. It's Wyoming now 6-1 with a win next week in Albuquerque against New Mexico. It's Wyoming versus San Diego State again for the Mountain West Conference Championship. The dramatic comeback for Wyoming football under Craig Bull continues. For producer Scott Brandwhite, our director Matt Plundo, Aaron Taylor, Jenny Dell, our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, we'll take you to Dallas for USF versus SMU.